you like it. We are back with the final day of the PMPL Trovo Invitational. Thumbs up, thumbs up. And I mean, thanks for sticking with us for all 19 days of this. And I mean, it's been a stretch, but I think this is really great practice for these teams to get ready for PMPL NA that starts next week, October 5th.
Yeah, I know I haven't commentated all of the days, but I can honestly say every single day that I've commentated, between the games, between commentating with yourself, between production and the viewers, it has been such a good blast. So for sure, massive props to everybody that's popped in every night, supported the stream, supported the teams, and yeah, it's really cool. It's final day, gonna be a little bit sad from my standpoint that it's gonna be over, but like you said, it just means we're that much closer to the PMPL.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, so next Tuesday will be when PMPL NA does officially start, and all these teams have been just like itching for it to finally start. Like, can it just be PMPL NA season already? But yeah, so this is going to be the first game of 5, and we're doing things just a little bit differently today. We had 2 teams, Yo and Pro Era, that or not Pro Era, Yo and Passion Fruit, that won't be in for tonight. So we're just going to combine all the lobbies, have all the teams play all 5 matches for you guys, so nobody's sitting out tonight. Big shabam for the last game, just so we keep kind of like a full lobby for all 5 matches. So that'll get started very, very shortly.
Yeah, for sure. It's one of those things where just sometimes some teams have been able to make it, and you're dead right, just for that kind of final night to make sure you have those full lobbies. At the moment, we have 66 for this game 1. So there's technically 2 extra kills available for these teams, ready to be sucked up. But first game of the day is going to be on Miramar. I know there's not much to talk about in terms of the first place. Ghost have that in the bag, but as we saw last night, there's a bit of a fight between, what is it, 3rd place and 9th, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah,
close.
There. Yeah, they're I think it was, what did we leave off at? I can pull it up real quick, but we left off with 3rd place. So it's Ghost, Knights, and then 19 Esports has 603 points, and then all the way down to, I think, 9th Ogilvy, 575. So that's only like a 28 point difference between all of those placements. So really just like, like 2 big games from Ogilvy could push them all the way up into like top 3 or at least top 5 or so.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're into the first game. The playing path is upon us. It's going from the west down to the southeast, so it is going to be more difficult in terms of getting to the Yasnaya area. Even a little bit of the Rosshawk shouldn't be too hard for Rosshawk. Just gotta know the vehicle drop spots, to be fair. Okay, apparently my mic Okay, I'll have a look with that. To be fair, Monica, thank you for letting me know. I don't know what's up with it though.
Hey, if you're not an accomplished streamer or content creator without some mic issues. I know you guys like to complain about it, but really there's a lot that goes into it. But actually, Imperium just hit 20K on YouTube. I saw that today.
Don't just stop. Okay,
Dude,
it's
that's
not
crazy.
important.
That's
Doesn't
awesome.
matter.
That's great though. Those are an insane number. I know you've been grinding really hard, guys. So check him out on YouTube. Congrats on the 20K. The circle has actually shifted this north time. Remember yesterday it kept just sending it to the lumber yards, and we're like, God. You know, the first game we're like, oh my God, the lumber yards. I haven't seen the circle in forever. I never want to see this again. And then boom, you know, 4 matches later, once again to the west or east side of lumber yards. It's a little bit further, but in the same general direction. And we had 2 lumberyard circles back to back. This time around, really centered onto Razak, and we've seen Lazarus that they land in Razak and they pretty much just stay there the entire time. One thing I would be really interested to see is where Boring Protocol is in the circle, because we've seen them, and they're going to be down towards the Primorsk area, but we've seen them kind of line up on that Razak Hill between Razak and the school area that they like to take, really high vantage point, and we've seen them do that and get 2 really incredible games on Erangel.
Hope my mic feed sounds a little bit better. It might be something where I could have to switch to my spare mic, so apologies about that. Feel free to keep me updated, as I'm a little bit paranoid about that, to be fair. Yeah, Ghost will probably just move up to the Potato Hill from their Pachinki drop spot. They have easy access. Couldn't ask for a better phase 1 for these teams, because despite it being somewhat on the north of the river with that center mainland, there's so many areas that you can go for your initial phase 1 stop point. So you can have the kind of Alamo building down south of Yasnaya. You can even hold down the kind of side of the river if you want to. There's so many places available.
By the way, do you see a different team name in the lobby tonight, Imperium? Did you notice that?
No, because I was trying to fiddle with my mic and get that better. But is that Uwu? You?
Okay.
You?
Yeah, so Godsend team, as you guys know, are transitioning to a new team, and they just announced today. So the name is UWU is how you pronounce it. And I was asking Courtney before this game. I was like, is
UW or UY?
UW, or sorry, UW. Oh my God, I can't English. UYU. There it is. I'm gonna totally mess it up. I'm gonna be like, ooh.
I'm sorry, I'm just gonna call him ooh.
Yeah, I told Courtney, I was like, I'm not gonna tell Imperium because I want to hear him say ooh on stream. He definitely did, but it's UYU. And then she said their esports manager makes this joke because the word, actually, if you say it in Korean, it means milk. So if you say, I think it's
oh really?
Uyu, like that. I'm not Korean, so I don't know how to actually pronounce it, but yeah, it's like that word. So he'll oftentimes just joke around, and be like, "Got ooh," or "Got uyu," but that's kind of like the joke for them. But anyway, this is pretty decently sized org. This is actually brand new to mobile esports. They've now come and joined the mobile scene with PUBG Mobile with the previous Godsend team.
Yeah, fair play to them. I know that from talking to Courtney that she had been in talks with a couple of organizations, or had reached out to a number of them anyway. So I'm really happy that they found a bit of a home. The team had been grinding so long throughout the spring split of PMPL, the fall split. They didn't make it in the spring split PMCO, my apologies. They didn't make it into the spring split PMPL. They competed in the fall split PMCO, they got up there, and then suddenly Godsend decided to drop their whole mobile division for whatever bullshit reason, being frankly honest. And yeah, it was obviously harsh on them, but again, glad they found a home.
Yeah, glad they found a home. Currently they are looking for a home in this map. So they like to land around that shelter prison area. We see them do this all the time. They moved on the way up there to this compound. I see them take all the time just in that, I don't know what kind of compound you call this, but it's in that kind of like intersection just to the northeast of the school apartments area. Most of these teams, like Lazarus, you know, they haven't needed to go anywhere in these kind of typical circles as they land in Rozhok. They loot up and they stay within the city, and we've seen, I think it was, who was it? We had another team, maybe it was Team Syndicate, you know, loot or rotate from the Georgia Pole area, come down from the north side, and then stop on the edge of Rozhok. So maybe we'll see that happen once again. Ghost Gaming coming in from the Pachinki area, just a little bit further up north, not too far that they needed to move at all to come in a little bit more into the center of the circle.
Okay. I like the fact that Nova went on to Potato Hill. I'm curious if Ghost head in that direction. I don't believe they did. So Ghost kind of prioritizing a little bit more of a central area. And Nova looking to have a bit of an engagement with Xset. Now Xset rocking off the back of a fantastic 21 kill chicken dinner in yesterday's Miramar game. They've proven that they can be aggressive. An initial knock and a kill onto player Nova will of course allow them to control this edge of Potato Hill area a little bit more extensively, and they do send Nova pushing back.
Yeah, I tagged all of Xset yesterday on it, and Jason was like insane. Like they did so well. But 19 Esports, we saw the K9 headshot onto Syndicate, and 19 Esports is now pushing up to knock onto Syndicate as Acer looks like coming in and just playing so aggressively and pushing up right into their faces as Carnage. Oh no, the birthday boy is taken down so low as he has Salty driving right on past him, but he ends up dying. So Carnage, happy birthday, my guy. And looks like Syndicate gave him a little gift and gave him 2 kills to start off the first match tonight.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Carnage. Happy birthday to you.
What is he, like 41 now? No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. He's like, I think he's like 20.
Oh my god.
25?
Oh.
I'm forgetting how old he is. Something like that.
Isn't he 41 or something like
no,
that?
One time it was like a couple, maybe like a week ago, and people in chat were like, Carnage is like 40-something years old and he's still playing PUBG. And we're just like, LOL, he is not anywhere near 40 years old.
Just gotta check his resume, bro, you know? Check his resume. But FaZe is about to pop up. 19E, to be fair, have a... I'm saying the word "to be fair" too much. I need to be aware of that. Sorry.
To be fair,
they're in a...
Stop saying it, to be fair.
There you go. They're in a really good spot in the western compound of Headshot Hills. FaZe has gone down south, so that's pretty reassuring for a lot of the teams, Monica. It takes away that north side of the river element of the later circles. It could still shift to Rozhok, so you've got to be aware that you don't want to commit too much to the southern half of this phase too.
Yeah, I like how it shifted kind of down a little bit more. So teams, you know, you never want to go just center, you know, like that until you can't move anymore. You definitely want to be able to, like Ghosted, come out of Pachinki, go into a compound, but still have the ability to, you know, rotate into any direction. We see some teams that are kind of like, they only see the short term, like right in front of them, where can I rotate? But, you know, more advanced teams will think like, even after this, wherever the circle goes, we have the entry into the next circle. 19 Esports, though, has lost one of their players to the Hitless, who came in just a little bit ahead of them, got the knock and the flush as the fight between Nova Esports and Ghost Gaming, a knock for a knock on Potato Hill. It looks like as Tensa gets yet another knock onto Nova Esports, as Spec flushes out his kill onto Rin. So I believe it's a 2 versus 3 if Ghost, and hopefully Ghost will be able to get the revive onto Beowulf, their in-game leader.
And I find it a little bit weird that Nova decided to stick on this Pachinki Hill area down to a 3-person team. I'm not surprised because it's them, but I'm a little bit surprised in terms of it's so much harder to control that hillside area as a 3-person team, never mind as a full squad. With the phase 2 shift, they could have opted to have gone a lot more south down to Potato Hill was still protecting a strong area. So it's kind of their own doing. Maybe they didn't predict the team to come up from the west, but at the end of the day, it was always going to be difficult.
Yeah, XSET on quite the, they're like 21 kills. Let's do it a little bit higher. Maybe we can get up to 22 kills as we see them laying the eyesights onto Mazexis in the distance. But I mean, they're looking all the way over there, but they still need to, protect themselves because J-Way has now been flushed out. Illuminati finding UYU. I'm going to say it very slowly. Yeah, the first couple times I say it so I don't mess it up.
You disappoint me, Monica.
Yeah, what? Nothing ooh? I just called them, I saw in chat, people were calling them milk, like milk tray. There goes milk tray.
Oh, God, milk tray.
Milk tray.
That's a,
milk.
That's like a chocolate, like a mixed, like a dairy milk chocolate, like a assortment of chocolates. A milk tray. That's a type of assortment of chocolates in the UK and Ireland. So find that a little bit more funny as well.
And maybe UYU should pick up Nesquik on Team Dope so we can be Milk Nesquik,
God, that is actually glorious. That is so freaking glorious.
That's like,
but at the end of the day,
Ghost Gaming and Haunted House 24, right? It just makes sense.
Yes, it just makes sense. Okay, so phase 3 is about to shift up. Ghosts are still in the Potato Hill vicinity. It has gone once again down south, so the South Pachinki Hill is going to be a priority, both sides of it. You also have the compound that B-Town are currently hanging around or driving to, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. It's a little bit isolated. It can often at times be hard to control too much around you when you're in that compound, but at the end of the day, you get there first. It's theirs for you to hold on to, so that's pretty valuable indeed. Still 55 players, 16 teams left.
16 teams left. Yes, we did start with one additional player, you guys. So we do have one team finally out, which was Team Syndicate. As the circle just, it shifted up north. It's come south twice in a row now. So what we thought was going to end up around like school, like Razak area, it's now kind of centered onto, and we've seen this circle end here before. If you guys remember, I want to say 2 or 3 weeks ago that it landed just to the southeast corner of Pachinki. Lazarus finds Boring Protocol now and laying down the pain telly onto Russell.
Laying down the pain. Fate's just trying to drive away. Teammate around that. That's Nova. Eliminated out of the lobby. This is outside of the circle quite heavily, I might add, because of that southern shift on phase 3. Kizik's caught on the bridge, and I can't see him surviving for much longer unless Fate pulls out a miracle of a knock or two in the direction of Lazarus. Joey up on top. Telly cooking up a nade. His teammate Fears, I believe, is knocked down, but his shots are being fired up, and Joey, like I said, from the hill above, gets a knock on the Kizik's.
Yeah, Lazarus, they're what? They're currently in 7th place, and they used to be, I think, 4th place before yesterday. They've kind of fallen down just a little bit, but they're still within striking distance. They're only about 15 points less than 19 Esports in 3rd place. Definitely need a huge game. Boring Protocol, though, they're in 4th place overall right now. They really do not want to afford to lose themselves here, but Lazarus is going to put the end of the dream of Boring Protocol and take them out very, very early in this match. And now it's going to be Knights to take out one of the members of Team XSET. Maybe they can confirm it. Maybe they can take them out, but Knights, they're not really in any kind of dire position to lose their 2nd place.
What I love about B-Town and how they've played this position, I said it's tricky to hold down a big area from that compound, so they've reacted to that by sending one player a little bit more forward up the hill so they get more information, fire more proactive shots in the direction up the hill, and essentially manipulate the traffic a little bit more. That's incredibly well played by them. Knights not opting to go too far forward, although they want to cover the western side of the hill overlooking the Pachinki Fields, which has Illuminati and XSET, and that phase 4 shift centralizes once again on that hillside.
Yeah, this is I mean, do you remember it was I think it was Knights against who was it, like Xset or something? Or no, it was Passion Fruit, I think at the very I can't remember who exactly, or maybe 19 Esports. Yeah, it was
I
19
don't
Esports.
remember myself to be
It was 19
honest.
Esports versus Knights, and then they were doing like drive-bys and running people over. But this is crazy. We have 14 people, this tiny itty bitty little circle that is going to eventually close into the 5th phase circle, and people are just sending it right now. Xset down in the trenches, kind of right outside of Pachinki, and this is a really nice base. They can just kind of pop on up and just it's literally a trap. It's literally like quicksand. They're going to drive on it, and they're just going to flush out. I believe that was one player that ended up a little bit too close to them. Yeah, it was dope. It was like a blue team. I didn't quite catch it, but I mean, that was just easy pickings for them, especially as a 3-man team. They're still able to collect these kills as actually the kills are actually literally landing in their lap, as they have kind of a really open space around them that they can really defend well, apart from the teams, Wall Street Bets, Illuminati, very, very close to each other.
It's where you really have to not panic in this kind of moment. If you're far away from the circle, full sending it in holds a lot of risks on board. So taking your time, hovering across the blue, it's still only phase 4, so you're able to deal with the blue relatively okay and look to gather a bit of information, possibly third party yourselves, as Wall Street Bets crashing on into the warehouse compound held onto by Illuminati, full squad up, but that's a nice knock onto himself by AZ. Hey, at least he takes somebody down to his knees. Unfortunately, it's himself.
He's like, I got that. Do you even get the damage if you do damage? I don't think so. You get damage onto yourself. Drago actually getting a little bit on fire as he throws a nade towards the Mango. I think it just missed out a little bit, but King A does get another knock and a confirmed finish onto King Hua as Stevo running into them. This is kind of a really messy fight as people are just kind of knocking themselves. I mean, Lanlan threw the Molotov down. It looks like now Carnage finished off Acer as Carnage actually blew himself up with the nade. Okay. I heard there was a glitch though with the new update that they're really just auto throwing, or you hold it and it's not quite throwing. So I mean, with every update, it kind of happens all the time.
Yeah, I have started to see it more over the last couple of days with the new update. Wall Street Bets still pushing in. Lan is left on his own, and just like that, Wall Street Bets get the squad wipe in the end. Good stuff. I don't know how many players they're left with. They do still have 3 players up, so a return on investment, full squad wipe for only losing 1 player. You take that.
Yeah, dope. Finding the hit list, finding one as he came in just a little bit too close over onto them. I mean, they're within the sniper tower, I believe, just on the edge of the circle. I think dope. I mean, they lost Flawless, who, kind of a flawed attempt, sending it right into Xset before. So the rest of the 3, actually only Kalu is within the circle. The other 2 are kind of on the, Nesquick, who, I said should be on Team Milk, Team UYU, but he's going to be coming up just a little bit closer using the smokes, but you hear he's going to be just a little bit out. Hopefully no one is able to find him, but I guess the smokes are helping them a little bit. They're able to come up a little bit closer, circle into the middle of the field all the time.
Wow, that's a massive shift up north. The thing with Dope is they sent 1 player just full sending it into the field. Even though that 1 player died, that was pretty vital information to the rest of Dope. Yeah. As much as they probably should have known there's going to be teams in the Pachinki fields, it still is a confirmation that has allowed them to edge into the previous circle a lot more safely. Far from over, because the circle once again centers up. Here gets knocked down the hit list. Jack G from the sidelines. One of only 2 players up for the hit list, but they're getting work done trying to pick up a couple of kills.
Yeah, Dope is going to be actually behind the truck where I think it was Xenox or Coops got that 1 versus 3 or 1 versus 4 4-piece nade onto Godsent the last time around that we had the circle in this general area. It did come a little bit north though. Xset going to be in a really, really nice position as Pro Air crashes up onto Lazarus and does take out G3. So I mean, Pro Air, they had Fishy down. I think came in a little bit earlier than the rest of them, but able to clean out Lazarus for sure. Ghost Gaming up on the top of the mountainside as Ogilvy. It's their turn now to try to crash up on their side.
Like, why do you go for that engagement when the full squad aren't there yet? You know, they're still driving, and Glaz is left on his own, and that's just a little bit silly from Ogilvy. Poor team communication. I'm not saying they would have won that team fight. It was always going to be difficult for them because Ghosts were absolutely set up and prepared to defend. But unless you have your full squad up, you're asking to lose that fight so much more heavily. To have a player knocked down at the hands of Ghost Gaming. I was waiting for the moment to pull that off, and now they're left with 2.
This suddenly became a mature stream. Only 18 years and older are you allowed to watch this. But Milk Tray. Okay, I mean, we're starting to make Courtney mad. I think just keep saying Milk, but UYU Tray stopping behind his little car. As I think he's going to be the only one left alive. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Spack, you know, unrelentless with his red dot.
No, they still have 2. They still have 2. They still have 2.
Okay, still have 2.
Yeah.
Still have 2, but Salt is knocked though. So it's only Trey left up on his feet on the very, very edge of the circle. Ghost Gaming, though, still just unrelentingly up at the top of this mountain. They definitely do have the highest vantage point over all of these teams on the side, but they are just kind of right on top of each other. So if they, you know, have the bad fortune of the circle shifting away from them, or maybe B-Town coming up a little bit higher on their side, they're going to be all kind of stuck behind.
Lovely initial knock by Trey. He had to pull or try to pull something out. It didn't work, and down go UYU. E-Town will still be able to hold on. HH24 maybe peeks out a little bit too heavily. And I think that was B-Town from the side that got the shots off. Indeed, that was the case. B-Town, like I said, played from the compound, didn't take that compound for granted, pushed up the hill. Teams were able to be sent back a little bit more heavily with the circle shifts. They have a little bit of an entry point, but Knights are waiting in the wings.
I do really like this spot for B-Town because they have a little bit of a high ground and a little bit of a dip back, so they can definitely hide back in here. But at some point, they're going to have to come in just a little bit more. Knights, actually, Chico, like you said, they need to come in. They come actually right above Team Mazek, says Chico, a little bit further up. I mean, he sees the smokes by the tree, so he knows there's somebody down in there. As Coops going to be cooking another one. We're going to fly. This could be a really good one. He didn't really cook that one out, but actually 24K gets knocked inside from Chico and heavy damage from the grenade. So out goes 24K. Now Mazek says they don't have any sort of footing within the circle.
And they don't really at all. They're down to 1, and it's going for a little bit of a desperate push across the way. Knights has 1 player down by that side where B-Town is, which I find a little bit weird. X set waiting it out. 3 players left. Wall Street Bets go for the push up to the side of the hill, but they're not exactly feeling too comfortable right now. Ghost Gaming continue to be proactive, continue to be controlling, and B-Town are our next victims in line.
Yeah, Grave is sitting on the back of the buggy using that third-person perspective. He does find Spec right by the tree, but he's giving away his positioning. But he does get a knock onto Tensa's AJ24 going for the drop shot, actually getting knocked now from Grave. One last player is going to be Beowulf Grave. Is this his time to shine? Potentially getting a 1 versus 4. But Beowulf, he doesn't know exactly where he is. He has all the smokes blocking his vision as he tries to go for him, but actually does go for the finish and gets the 1 versus 4 onto Ghost Gaming from B-Town Grave.
Oh my god! Insane from Grave to 1v4, the composure coming through, and I know he just went down, but I salute you, Grave. We're down to our final 3 teams, exit Pro Era and the members of Knights.
Yeah, Knights, they came up, they heard the fight happening there, I think very good, just kind of calmly waiting. You know, 1 person left, and they just came and killed Grave at the very, very last second. So yeah, like you said, 3 teams left, 3 players on either of these teams. So X said they just came up a little bit out of their trench. Pro Era just on the very, very edge, and Knights, I mean, they're doing kind of what Broing Protocol was doing yesterday with that tiny little circle, having their teammates a little bit split up, having the big control, and you can see Alcar going even wider around. I mean, he might just kind of divert back, but I think he's trying to get the angle onto Team X set. Yeah, exactly. He's getting his car and he's just shifting around just a little bit more. But 9 kills found for Team X set, so no way to beat their 21 kill record. But it's nice with the control of this final circle.
I'm still living for the moment of the 1v4 by Grave. That's going to live on. It just shows that despite the lead Ghost Gaming have, they are human after all. Exit They're looking to shut down the members of Pro Air, knocking the fishy, but with a lot of smokes, the information might not quite be there. That's why J7 is just shooting blindly into the smokes to try and get any kind of hit marker, but Knights are aware of those shots and they get a knock onto one of the members of Knights, Coops, with his own knock onto Lolo.
Yeah, Alucard finally gets knocked from up top after taking a couple shots onto J7, but a lot of these teams are kind of in shambles right now. Xset, Polo has to go revive his teammate, but his other teammate, J7, way too far in this circle to try to revive out of it as the blue zone is coming in now. Pro Era Fish just a couple more seconds, getting the first 8 up, but for them, it's about wide rotating around, but this might be their opportunity because only Chico has their eyesights on them as Coops and Alucard are now coming a little bit closer, but Chico, he's like, I'm king of this hill on this side of the circle. I'm not letting you guys come up at all, but actually Chico with the car explosion, and out goes the third member of Knights.
Yeah, I thought Knights were a little bit too heavily split earlier on, and it was working up until a point, but Chico, if you're gonna like stick behind the car, you gotta make sure that vehicle is blown up. So that was a little bit of a amateur mistake in that regard. It does happen from time to time. Coops with a good nade, repositions across the board. This is a classic three-way dance. Often the first team to really push can be the first team to go down. So you've really got to tread lightly in these moments.
Yeah, looks like Polo finishing off Sosa. So, I mean, okay, so it's a 2 versus 2 versus 1. So from 9 down to 5, and everyone is on their bellies, taking out the extra ammo they don't need in their backpacks, going all the way down to, nothing, and just taking the backpack off so they're as flush to the ground as possible. The circle actually did shift a little bit behind Team Knights, so they're going to be able to just kind of back it up, get back in, but it's going to be up to Pro. The pressure is on actually really onto Xset and Era to try to get in, and it looks like Alucard and Coops, they can really identify. They're like, we're the 2 left. We know all the other people in the circle are onto the other side. So I mean, it's kind of a I think Knights is probably in the best spot to win this game, but I don't know. Xset, we could have a potential 4th win for Xset across this. A couple weeks ago we were just like, Xset, man, they haven't won a single game, but they're still in 9th place. But now they finally getting a couple of chicken dinners.
Let's glow up NA. Xset right now. Knights, you're dead right about their position. The fact that they're in the circle does technically give them the advantage. And they had a little bit dip of the hill, but like I said, it's anybody's for the taking because of the fact that you have 3 teams left, so that juicy third party, Lolo, can make a big difference, at least determining whether or not Xset or Knights win this game.
Yeah. I like how we're getting very quiet now as to not disturb the players, their concentration. Okay, so Xset coming a little bit closer together. Alucard and Coops, though, having a little bit of a hard cover as Lolo does find team a kill switch. But look, actually finished off both of them. So Lolo got the 2-piece at the very, very end, gave away his spot, and the Knights are like, oh, wait, no, it's one person, stand on off, and they go exactly where the shots came from. So Knights really biding their time well. 8 kills found and the chicken dinner.
Yeah, there was always going to be that element for the final circle of this game where Knights had that advantage. The lower ground protected them from getting third party by Lola a little bit more heavily because Lola wouldn't want to look or go too far on that downhill. That's why he was sticking a bit more on the kind of flatter or the very top of that little hill in between Knights and Xset. I can't hate on Xset going down like that because it is the variable of the final circles. They could have thought it was just 2 against 3. That's also something we got to think about. There might not be that guarantee that they knew there was 2 teams left rather than 1. But Knights clean it up, and for the most part, they do deserve to win that because of how solid and controlling. Plus, moving away from B-Town was pretty intelligent, so they controlled a better area that they felt more comfortable controlling, and that also shaped them winning the game.
Yeah, I think they were just very, even losing, who was it? Xenox? Was it Xenox at the towards the beginning of the match? I want to say, maybe. Even losing 1 and ending up only going 3-man into the final part of the game, they were still just very patiently, very just, I don't know, just, they were never too early to a fight and putting themselves in a bad spot, and they were able just to really reserve their players, keep them all up till the, not all up, but as many players as they could until the very end, and then and actually end up winning with 2.
Sorry about my mic in that game. I don't know what it is. I'll have a look at it during the break and see what I can do to fix it. If not, I'll just have to switch to my spare mic. It's one of those things. Yeah, but it's not as crisp as some people are used to, and it's a little bit paranoid for me as well, to be honest. So I will keep an eye on it and have a listen on my end to see if there's anything I can do. But
good game one. Interesting circle shifts. Teams like UIU maybe committed a little bit too heavily to that south side on the kind of phase 3, phase 4. I like the idea they had of sending one across the road from the warehouses they held on to, but when they were down to 3 players, I think it was the kind of thing where they're nearly better off committing to a place as a 3-person team and hoping that it stays or they're able to do something about that. Whereas if you go for one in the anchor point and you're down to a 3-person team at that part of the game, the rest of the team reacting is going to be a lot less effective. We saw it maybe a little bit with Ogilvy as an example off the back of that. So that was maybe a little bit of a mistake from UIU, but other than that, the team that deserved to win overall deserved to win, and that Grave 1v4,
Yeah.
sensational.
Yeah, I read in the chat, guys. Grave actually won versus Ford English 1v4'd Boring Protocol a couple days ago. So
Okay.
we get to see 2. He's pulling a Xenox. Do you remember when like Xenox we first started like really playing in kind of tier 1 and all that? It was like every other day it was like a 1 versus 4, 1 versus 3 clip that we saw on Twitter. So maybe Grave is the new Xenox, guys. But we will see for the second match if we see any more 1 versus 4s come out, as we will be right back after the short break.
Major Tom to crowd control. Now that I have your attention, on a count of 3, I'd like you all to sit down. 1, 2, 3. Crowd control. I'm in 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 control. Major Tom to crowd control. Crowd control. Crowd control. Crowd control. Major Tom to crowd control. Crowd control. Crowd control. Crowd control. Major Tom to crowd control. Now that I have your attention, on a count of 3, I'd like you all to sit down. 1, 2, 3. Crowd control. I'm in 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 control. Major Tom to crowd control. Crowd control. Crowd control. Crowd control. Major Tom to crowd control. Crowd control. Crowd control. Crowd control. Major Tom to crowd control. Now that I have your attention, on a count of 3, I'd like you all to sit down. 1, 2, 3. Crowd control. I'm in 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 control. Major Tom to crowd control. Crowd control.
Match number 2 is about to start. Before we get into that, though, let me just check on these scoresies. So we do have the overall scores, if you guys are interested to see them. So this is including the game we just watched, plus all of the, 72, 73 matches that we've played so far through the other 18 days.
Yeah.
Who won the last one? Knights won the last one. So 715 points.
Yeah, they're comfortably in second, along with Ghost comfortably in first.
Yep.
Exit also creating a tiny bit of a cushion in third. 19E goes ahead of Boring Protocol. Like we said before the start of game 1, it is still incredibly close. B-Town have moved up into the running, I feel, on 550. If they get 2 plus, 2 to 3 more valuable games in their hands, they could move into the top 5 as an example.
I actually, I was looking at the scores. I was like, that'll actually look like the scores from yesterday. But so we just refreshed it. So Knights actually has 738 total points with 6 chicken dinners. But I mean, Knights, I don't know, they're just such a consistent team. Even in obviously very high fragging power, but 393 total kills. That's more than It's more than the last two teams on the leaderboards actually of total points that they even have. But it's
Wow.
amazing to see. Xset up in third now. We love to see it. Our little black horse that was kind of dragging their feet the entire invitational is finally showing up the last week or so.
That's kind of what I want to see, though, from a lot of these teams. Is I would prefer to see a much bigger aggregate of kill points than placement points, because to me that's a little bit of a symbol that they're pushing themselves, that they're really trying to challenge these teams in fights, and they're finding the limits. I wouldn't be surprised if Knights, of course, in the PMPL ended up with more kill points and placement points. It's how their playstyle works. They are an aggressive team that allows them to control the circles all throughout the game. But my point is, you might not always have the opportunity to be super aggressive in the PMPL. So by testing the limit here, you gain that knowledge and experience to not get punished as heavily in the PMPL.
Yeah, definitely. We had, I think it was like a failed push from Ogilvy onto Ghost or something like that. Just kind of pushing up from the last game. Definitely won't make that kind of similar mistake. But we are going into match number 2 in Miramar. This time from the very, very south. So our teams that went to Los Leones, it's kind of a pretty far plane path for them yesterday for both matches that our usual teams weren't able to. Who do we have? Knights, Dope, and Wall Street Bats going all the way down there. And I see actually Dope kind of sprinkled onto the city of Los Leones, so we might have like a 4-team drop onto there, but I mean, actually no, it's like Nova just coming in kind of close to them, but I think they're trying to aim all the way to Puerto Parisio. But it just looks like a whole just mess of a massive amount of teams landing over Los Leones.
Yeah, with a higher density of players in the lobby, you should see a little bit more aggression being shown through in the early parts of the game. Maybe a squad or two will go down early on, so we'll be starting technically the game with 16 teams. That Eastern shift, was it you that yeah, I believe it was you last night that you highlighted that you had a game that ended on the El Azahar coastal line. I want to see that again. I know the island's in play, but I really want to see an El Azahar coastal line finish.
They just had this like last Thursday or Friday, like, please God, it's like that Michael Scott meme. It's like, no, you know, like that if it ever shifts out there again. But hey, we missed it. We want to see it because we want to see that action of people sending it all the way down there. And I think it's these kind of mysterious places on the map that the circle doesn't often go. The teams are not quite really that familiar with them as they go down there. So hopefully we get more of these kind of crazy circles, not, you know, like oftentimes they'll go kind of somewhere in the center of the circle, but some of those extreme kind of parts of the circle, you see it now, you practice it now. So if it does happen in PMPL, you already have that practice. It's not like you're using PMPL, you see the circle that you've never played before and just kind of try to guess like, oh, I think there's like a ridge here, maybe this is a good angle, question mark. But at least they're able to practice it here as the Panthers do find Ogilvy.
Where is that fight going on? It is in a bit of a weird place outside the Los Leones. Okay. You don't normally see teams fighting there, and the risk of the split drop is quite heavy. Now, Can does at least get a return knock onto Illusions, and the rest of Ogilvy are going to use that knock to back away. Well, actually, no, they're using it to push forward. Okay. And no fear, just fight. I said I like to see teams getting more kills and placement points because it means that they are pushing themselves. And Ogilvy, they're pushing themselves and they're pushing the Panthers.
I was just about to say that. You stole my line. I was gonna be like, not only are they pushing themselves, they're also pushing onto everybody else. But Ogilvy, the M249. I know, great minds thinking like M2. Oh. You didn't need to do them like that with the full mech of the M249 on his great, but GG's to them. First team out of the lobby, now down to 17.
I love the fact that you're going to say that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to steal it. I didn't mean to steal it.
That was like my reaction was like, oh, okay. It was the exact same reaction Tensa had yesterday in Miramar. Remember with the Ghost won with 3 kills down below,
Yes.
who was a one player from Pro Era, and Tensa was ready to like met off, and I texted Tensa and I was like, I'm pretty sure your reaction was just like, oh, okay. Like we just won. That was like my same kind of reaction. Damn.
Yeah, so a team has gone down already. I did say that might be the case. I was expecting it in Los Leones because you kind of had Wall Street Bets, Dope, and Knights. A lot of mutual respect, especially because of that Northern Phase 1 Knights obviously prioritizing a bit of a deeper part of the Phase 1 circle. 19E on the Junkyard Hills. Such a great rotation from 19E. They pull these kind of rotations off in so many games, and I think it's been one of their biggest improvements across the Invitational and even across, you know, going back to the Spring Split PMPL. Their rotations and the timings have been really on point. I would say with some of the best teams in the world, and I'm not saying that lightly. I know it's easier to say that in this kind of Invitational, but I guarantee you the timings and the where they rotate to, you put that on a global stage against the best teams and it would still show up.
That's actually this warehouse where most of 19 Esports has stopped at. They're actually very familiar with the area because when 19 Esports used to drop their El Azahar split, this is where Acer dropped every single time. So they're so familiar with the area, the angles, everything like that, and they already knew like, hey, let's go, and they know exactly how to encroach onto the compound and how to defend it as well. Pan looks like he drove just a little bit, testing the waters onto Mr. Birthday Boy Carnage. I think they hurt each other, but we didn't really see an engagement happen yet. But we have all these teams, Dab Center in the middle, but Pro Era is in a little bit of a tough spot as they're climbing a little bit higher, and we see them take the spot all the time. We've seen them have fights here against Knights, and there's always like 2 of them up on the mountain and 2 of them kind of a little bit further below, so hopefully they don't get sandwiched between all the other teams surrounding them.
I don't think they'll get too sandwiched because they're on the very high ground. You bring up a good point, and it's something they'll have to be aware of. Okay, Coops, taking down the Birthday Boy. Is there any need for that? As Beowulf runs over Nemesis of Uu and Uu. They're finding themselves being suffering 1-2. They're down to more, and I believe it's just Ukora and another player up for their side, and Ghosts are encroaching, taking them down. That's another one. Trey, he's left on his own, and I can't see him being able to move away from this one.
I mean, Team Uyu, Team U. Okay, it takes a little while. This is like
don't fight it, Monica. Don't fight it. Brace it.
Ooh, you.
There you
Sorry,
go.
it's like when team who was it? Or I don't know if you remember that. That was a team Wi-Fi.
Yes, I kind of remember
Monarch
that.
and all. That was a beautiful angle from Bale. I think, and he heard the footsteps. He knew he would run out into the other room, and it had that crisp with some sparkle on it. Little angle up the stairways into the other one, just waiting for him to run out into his shot. So out goes Team UYU from Team Ghost.
19E looking to get a little bit of revenge on the Coops, but that isn't going to be the case. Sam gets put down to his knees. Acer is looking to try and protect his teammate a little bit. Coops knows that he can't over peak the hill too much. His head and body will be exposed, and as I say that, Acer takes half of the health off onto Coops, and Coops has taught a bit of a lesson. Now Leon's going in. The pride and the pal playing through. That's a bit of an opening. Oh no, you hate to see it. As a nade is gonna get the knock. Acer's left on his own. Xenox holds onto one side. Coops gets knocked, but Xenox covers, just about to take down 19E.
I mean, we had just praised 19 Esports about their real quick rotation. I think that everything went well up until this fight against Knights. I mean, they were able to knock 2 of Knights, Coops, and Alucard, but it was still just, 19 Esports, they went out a little bit too early last match. They went out a little bit too early this match. Again, maybe it's the birthday curse. And maybe this is telling Carnage, maybe you go celebrate your birthday. Like PUBG Mobile is telling him to actually go celebrate his birthday and not play the game. But 19 Esports out once again. A little bit too early in the second match tonight.
Yeah, this is match 2 out of 5. I know you put a comment in chat, Monica, but I thought it'd be nice to repeat it. It will be fixed up in due time. Production is doing a wonderful job. It's a little bit of a one-man army, so to speak. 15 teams already. We started with 17, Monica. I said we might have a little bit more early game action. Definitely encouraged by the phase 1 being primarily kind of open based heavy, with the young Junkyard Hills, the Minas Generalis Hills, the El Azahar Hills. They're all really good areas to hold on to, and if you have 3, 4, 5 teams in that area, you're gonna have those engagements in phase 1.
Yeah, the hit list is encroaching. I mean, they just got their one, you know, they got a little appetizer onto kill switch from XSAT as the rest of them drove away. So I think XSAT has put a healthy amount of distance between them and the hit list. And mind you, that none of these teams are in the circle. They're way far out the north side of Picado and still need to rotate all the way in. Wall Street Bets. We already saw the knock onto Drake 8 times K9. You can't really ask anything more from this kit that he's gotten, but he's just waiting to see if anyone's gonna peek out. But I think Drake and Grave, I think they're gonna learn their lesson, right? And they're like, I'm not gonna peek out this. Like, I know we got a really, you know, really strong, you know, American sniper on the outside in this angle to avoid for sure.
Phase 2 going over to the northeast, I think prioritizes the north El Azahar Hill a little bit more heavily. You can also hold on to the hill that's to the northeast of Junkyard. It's not too much of a common area for teams to go because the circle doesn't often stay in that direction. So teams might not be looking at that place to go to if it's not common enough. Phase 3 might go back down the southwest. Wall Street Bets, in our perspectives, on the south side of the circle. They're inside it, but they have the Panthers coming in behind them. XZ as well. They have B-Town in front of them, as well as a little bit of the Nova and Dope Boys also to the northeast of them.
Okay, 24K, and he was the top fragger, I want to say 2 days ago overall, for both his team and overall the entire lobby. But they're out in the blue zone. This is the second phase. It's not doing quite, you know, it's not too hurtful as much. It looks like the hit list, though, they're gonna kind of veer off and go to the north side while Mazexis goes down to the south. Mazexis, they're already a little hurting because they lost Kino already to the hit list. I think the hit list now have 2 kills, I want to say. Yeah, 1 onto Exa kill switch and 1 onto Kino from Mazexis. As we have the circle, it is you know, you said you wanted the El Azahar Beach. It's still within the circle, just on the very east side. Maybe it could hardship that way once again. Fingers crossed.
Maybe. Fingers, toes, and everything else that's crossable, cross it. Mazexis in the blue, not looking too good. Pro Era, they're to the western edge of the circle. The phase 3 has popped up, and unfortunately, it's away from the coastal line.
Yeah.
It's a shift down south, and that's kind of what I expected, which is why, although I highlighted the hill to the northeast of Junkyard, I didn't put a heavy weight on it. It's still inside this phase 3, but once again, nobody's there.
Yeah, and I love how Nova Esports is so spread out, so confident, but that they recognize it's shifted down on them. Need to brace for impact because they see that there's still 58 people in this lobby and need to kind of conjoin, you know, kind of consolidate themselves a little bit closer together. Rin does heavy damage onto Dope. Nesquick. But once again, it's these teams that are in the center. They don't need to fight necessarily, and they need to kind of gatekeep the other teams on the outskirts from getting any closer within the circle. As Flawless now, as the information sees 2 players from Nova Esports on the same mountain, on the same ridge. He comes back just a little bit, but needs to be wary of Ghost Gaming in the opposite direction.
Yeah, definitely need to be aware of Ghost Gaming. Nova don't normally hold on to such small spreads as a full squad. They normally have a bit more of a heavy separation. I know it's a 2-2 split, but maybe kind of 1-1-1-1 from that standpoint. Now, the 2 players that are on the more eastern edge of the circle, I think there's an awareness there of recognizing that a few teams could be wrapping around that eastern coastal line. A couple of shots from HH24 will connect onto Nesquick, sends them onto the other side of the house just that little bit of proactivity from HH24, it just makes a world of difference to Ghost's late game. It will suppress Dope just a little bit more heavily.
Yeah, we have now Ghost Gaming still pretty spread out. So Ghost Gaming almost doing a similar split to Nova, just a little bit shifted to the left as we have on the southern side of the circle. Wall Street Bets is taking the fight against the Panthers from down below. Legal actually getting finished off. Brady getting knocked as well as looks like multiple members of, I want to say it was Wall Street Bets actually just King A down below getting knocked as well, but looks like they're able to finish out the Panthers out in 15th position.
14 teams left. Ghost getting connected upon by Nova, and
Yep.
as I said, I wasn't sure about Nova's unusual
Split.
not so heavy split, but it's worked out that they grabbed a kill. One of their players getting knocked is going to get revived. I think Ghost are not going to take that line down. They're pushing a little bit more forward, at least 2 players in the front line. I think it's not Tense in the back line. I think it's HH24 in the back line. And with that phase 4 shift, that will allow them to focus a bit more heavily on Nova, who are definitely much closer to the edge of the circle. So I like that from Ghost.
Yeah, the circle did shift a little bit more center that we just saw. So Ghost, I think they don't want to push all the way out to Nova Esports because they are a little bit further out. We have Syndicate, though, finding the hit list onto, looks like, where is the hit? So the hit list actually rotated all the way over onto the northeastern side. They were just on the far southwest side alongside of Mazexis. Now going to be just on the edges. Jet G now getting finished out as a play zone takes out yet another member of the hit list. There's going to be one player, Babambilla, very, very close to Syndicate as his teammate is nowhere to be found. Pretty far away, having a 1 versus 4 literal uphill battle with Team Syndicate all looking down to try to collect this 1 kill. Oh.
And I like it. You clear out a team that's around you first, and then you are able to prioritize a little bit more heavily coming into the circle. Would it took a little bit more time than they would have wanted, but got the job done in the end. B-Town, southwestern edge of the circle, still together as a full squad. They have a little bit of control, a bit of information point with its Jat more to the east. So that kind of anchor point is valuable. And now that they've gotten information onto the members of Pro Era, the rest of the team are joining up with them. So that's pretty damn good. However, you can see Pro Era, they're not in a good spot right now.
Yeah, Syndicate actually just got taken out too between Boring Protocol and the play zone. We have a nade flying on down and being so high up, throwing the nades down, even if it's a little bit further, just having that uphill slant, the nades are definitely going to roll a little bit further, the force of gravity still definitely applies within PUBG Mobile. B-Town is a Jat. I like his positioning here. They are kind of split up on the southeastern side, but they're able to really watch over 2 of them watching Pro Era and Xset over on top, and the other 2 watching down below onto Wall Street Bets in Mazexis. But last one alive, Mazexis 24K taken out by the likes of Wall Street Bets.
Nope, they've been able to at least move away, and because Ghost focused more on towards the members of Nova, that gave them a bit of an opening to push in out of the buildings that they were in and spread their wings and fly into the circle. The Angels overlooking them as Wall Street Bets are punished. It's Jat. I know the sound of the vehicle is being made aware as Dope send it up the hill. They want to take more than one fight at once. That could go against them. Jat is knocked down and stabbed in the back. He didn't know they were there, and he pays the price.
Yeah, he definitely didn't know it, but I saw Drake. I think he did identify. He was like, wait, there's somebody right there, because he did, return a couple shots onto Kalu. Yeah. We do have Kalu throwing yet another nade kind of in the direction of B-Town, as we have a lot of other fights erupting all over. Looks like Ghost Gaming sending it a little bit closer to Nova Esports. Spec actually ejecting out of the car as Tensa gets knocked and flushed by Sheepfan. So only HH24 left alive from Nova Esports, as Rin is going to quickly revive his teammate, as HH24, I think, just leaving the spot, trying to repress the memory and just go a little bit closer as the circle did shift up. Now only Knights and now HHG4 making his way into the circle, coming on in as we have multiple teams like Pro Era and Boring Protocol getting finished on the edges of the circle.
To Baba Fair, I feel like Ghost should have pushed Nova a bit more heavily on phase 4 and not being as proactive allowed Nova to open that door a bit more on their side and punish Ghost. Dope, once again, covering behind them. They have Wall Street Bets backed into a corner, just a smoke covering their area, and I believe that is them. No, not fully cleaned up. Yeah, here, still looking to finish them off. He hasn't quite. You don't want to be on your own. Why did you leave your teammate like that? You clear it up, but this, you have that final kill that confirmed, hey, all the players are killed. There's still one up, and that was very silly, Dope.
I think it was just,
yeah.
and maybe it was this team did this, like, I think this team did it before. Remember, they were just kind of like all split up, one going to revive as the other ones are trying to push onto a team. Is just very uncoordinated there from Team Dope and having just one of their players, and that was a fatal mistake for sure, having just one player try to push up onto the entire team of Wall Street Bets. But you know, Wall Street Bets looks like the stock market took a downward turn for them, and they're going to be back in the lobby waiting for Sandhawk.
Nice pun. Well said. Well said indeed. The road kind of on the south side of the circle is quite tricky for both Dope and Nova. Nova suffering another casualty, flawless knockdown, might be able to be revived, and that's why losing that player is just so punishing for Dope, because it takes away a pair of eyes. It takes away confidence to maybe go for a push into the center of the circle. So they're kind of low-key getting picked off one by one as XZJ looks to stay alive at the hands of B-Town. B-Town are having a very good game in Miramar.
Oh yeah, all four of them still left alive, and they've just been look how aggressive they're playing. Polo, I mean, if you only have two players up, you really hope that you have it. Jayway finds Grave though, our kind of hero from the last match, getting a 1 versus 4. Polo whipping out his M249 once again, and this time looks like Polo maybe a little overextending just a little bit, and Isajat's gonna get the knock on him with the UMP.
Oh no.
Oh, excellent.
Don't throw it, B-Town. Don't throw it, though, B-Town. You've got this.
Come on,
Knight still holding things down. 5 kills. Up as a full squad. Xenox getting a knock into Illuminati will suppress them. They're the only team right now that are in this circle.
Yeah, the circle in the center one more time. Knights just, you know, they're approaching in just a little bit. They have got like kind of the southeastern side. Illuminati, I like how they still have all 4 players up. Lanlan, AZ, Mango, and King Hua. But they cannot forget about Nova Esports. 2 of them to the side, and the other 2 down to the kind of southeastern side. So Nova, you know, they continue to with the split until the very, very end. And they do have kind of 2 entry points, one to the northeast, one to the southeast. So they might be able to identify, you know, southeast as a no-go. Knights is going to be right in front of them, nowhere to go there. So you might see the second half them come up a little bit further up north and kind of rejoin finally as one team into this 6th, 7th phase circle.
Hope you have the power. You have the power. Little by little, you'll look to take down the last player of Ghost Gaming, HH24. Oh no. I get it, but no. And that was with the help of Nova. That was
with the help of Nova.
Squad wipe onto Dope. It's like a caster curse Dope in the blink of an eye.
So HHG4, he naded one and then killed the other at the exact same time that Nova Esports finished off Dope as well. So I think Dope is just like, I don't know what just happened here, but we were out within, you know, a second. All 3 of our players did end up dying. HHG4 just kind of repositioning themselves because he know that B-Town, they heard all the shots, they heard the grenades, they obviously saw the kill feed, and they know that HHG4 is going to be somewhere in this direction as Knights finding themselves engaging with Nova Esports as HHG4 actually whips around and sees HD or YDD as nice. So HHG4, he's doing the exact same thing that he did in one of the matches yesterday. Remember, he was the last one left alive in Sandhawk. He's able to just a third party everyone around the circle. So HHG4.
Oh my god.
No, he actually knocks one, but Coops does shoot him in the back. But I mean, that's just kind of, HHG4. This is how he racks up those kills. It's just like that third partying and able to find the kind of solos that don't know where he's at. Able to literally, he's like, John Cena. He's just totally invisible. Nobody can find him. He's got his invisibility cloak on. That's HH24.
I love what HH24 was doing. He could have probably stepped back a little bit after getting the knock because he'd made noise, and that's what really alerted the Knights. It's chat, you can see getting knocked in the back line. Knights have 2 casualties on their side, and that might allow the only team that's inside the circle, Illuminati, to pick up the chicken dinner. The all-seeing eye of doom Illuminati looking for their win in Miramar.
Come on, B-Town Peaceful, you can't stand up that eye. So B-Town, we praise them on being so well, but the circle literally just gifted onto Illuminati. Knights and B-Town, somebody here needs to wrap up this fight and try to focus on the circle, but Illuminati, they have all the time in the world. Well, they got 17 seconds before the circle starts closing, and the rest of these teams are just going to pick each other apart. They're wasting the time that they could spend. I mean, none of them can get out of this position because the other team is right there. So 3 versus 2, B-Town and Knights. Actually, 3 versus 1 now.
3v1. Make that 3v0. B-Town goes down. It's a good game for B-Town. They've done a lot of work. They've been very proactive on the edge, somewhat controlling. So that 3rd place is justified and deserved. Unfortunately, they meet their match. And Knights, they're going for a back-to-back chicken dinner in the final game of the Trovo Invitational.
Yeah, the Illuminati, I like how they identified, they saw it, they know for sure this is nice that they're fighting against after seeing it into the kill feed. Xenox getting shot a little bit in the back from Illuminati, but look how Illuminati has pushed up into the edge of the circle, really just giving Xenox and all of the Knights no room whatsoever. If I was Illuminati, I would have spread out just a little bit more just to really have the angles as they're coming up. And Xenox, one headshot and takes AZ onto his knees. Now they're going to be pushing up 2 versus 2 up the hill to try to get into the circle.
Oh, the opening has been created. Mango pre-firing across the area, and that is absolutely crisp play from Knights. Where is the coordination from Illuminati? They had one either side. They could have pushed it, but that doesn't work out. And Knights are your chicken dinner winners for the 2nd game in a row.
Oh, they literally did not have the circle. Illuminati had like the edge of what? Wait, so what do you think Illuminati could have done differently there? I thought it was Illuminati's win all the way, and then Knights just doing Knights things, and we're just gonna totally outfrag them as we just run up. And I mean, oh my god, I can't even believe it.
Oh man, yeah. Absolutely spot on. It's just a little bit of a testament to how confident and experienced Knights are as players. Like, in a more against a more competitive team, and it's no shade to Illuminati, but overall a more competitive team like maybe Ghost, 19E, Nova, it probably would have been a much tougher job for Knights.
Yeah.
But Illuminati still kind of really learning and finding their groove. That's going to be a lesson for them. And hey, that's okay, because that's the purpose of this Invitational, to teach the teams where they need to improve on, how to find their limits. And that's going to be a definite limit tester for Illuminati, or a bit of a, hey, we're going to look to kind of have either side, etc. We really need to do it better. VOD review could definitely work out for that game alone. Still a very good result for Illuminati. They deserve credit for that.
Man, okay, so if B-Town continues to play like they've been playing, I would not be surprised to see them in top 3 tonight. Just, great game, first game, and then almost, getting really, really far into the second game, but definitely really great job for them. I think Knights is just, I mean, it was unbelievable, but then again, we're talking about Knights, so it is kind of believable for that to happen. But again, I was totally surprised. I think all of us are surprised that Illuminati did not win that match.
Yeah, definitely surprised. B-Town, as I highlighted just after he went out, they had a great game, deserved third place. They had what, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 kills for them. Ghost Gaming, HH24, realistically, he was the only reason they got fourth. That's okay, because when you're such a good team in general as a team, you also have to have the players in your team that if there's a mistake made in a game where you suffer 1, you suffer 2, you suffer 3, and you have that solo player, he's able to pull off something pretty big in these games. Back in the PMPL EU Spring Split, it was Mizawa from Destiny that got a reputation for doing that. The only problem in that kind of situation was it became too much of a habit. It's very rare, although it happened yesterday, it is overall very rare that Ghosts are in that situation where they're left with one player that kind of has to do all the work. So that's okay that in this game, HH24 got them fourth.
Yeah, so we will be right back and we'll hop onto Sandhawk in just a couple of minutes. Yep. All right. Match number 3 about to start. Just waiting on our straggler from the Panthers, but very, very soon.
God's sake. There's always one. There's always one again.
So Rain, who used to be one of my players, he would always be like the last one in the lobby. And I'm like, Rain, my good. And he's like, I gotta make them wait for the best, man. And then he would just show up like at the last
And then
second.
he die first.
No, he did it, but it was just funny how he would always be like, you gotta wait
Yeah.
for the best. Fun
Oh, man.
times.
Fun times. In today's games so far, Knights have 53 points. Not
Yep.
surprised with 2 chicken dinners. And B-Town are in second with 33 points. Yeah, really good from B-Town. Ghost in third with 26. Exet in fourth with 23. That's in today's games.
Yeah, we have, just for today, Knights is 20 points above B-Town. The next closest one, but already just back-to-back wins. But overall, and they're slowly catching up Knights. I mean, if Knights wants to catch up to Ghost, they're going to need 120 points in 3 matches. So what is that? 40 points a match. They're gonna need to win all 3 matches and then get like 25 kills each game. But anyway, second place is Knight 768, and then third place is Accent. I'm loving Accent, that they've stayed consistently in third place now, even though we didn't really see much from them for the first 3 weeks, and they're finally just starting to climb up. They're like, oh, okay, PMPL and A is actually coming around the corner. We should probably shape up, boys.
It's kind of surprising that like 19E, Nova, Boring, Lazarus, and Wall Street Bets have, and even Ogilvy to a certain extent, have all kind of, not done so well across at least the last game. That has allowed B-Town once again to get back up there, right? 568, less than 10 points behind Ogilvy in 9th. They're only 20 points behind Wall Street Bets, and they overtake Wall Street Bets, then that puts them, of course, depending on how Lazarus do, even closer to them. So really good day from B-Town.
Yeah, they really great from B-Town, and they were kind of on our like lower mid tier, and just having those 2 games coming up now to 10th place. So yay, top 10 for B-Town. And Sandhawk, where does B-Town like to go? I'm trying to remember. Was B-Town the one that goes down to Sami with Wall Street Bets? Is that B-Town? Was that B-Town?
Yes, it is. They both land down at least in yesterday's games anyway.
So we're going to have Sandhawk with all of these teams right down the middle from the southwest corner-ish all the way up to Camp Bravo. So yesterday, remember, we had Syndicate take out Illuminati right away in Camp Bravo. We had that Lazarus, and we're going to see it again. Lazarus in the pro era. We love to see it. We hate to see it for 4 weeks in a row in Hot Ting. And then I think it was Boring Protocol. Who was Boring Protocol? And I think it was Illuminati that they were having problems with all over Camp Alpha. Was it Illuminati? Who was it? I want to say it was Illuminati.
I'm not gonna lie, I totally forgot.
Wall Street Bets? It's all getting mumble jumbled for us. But anyway, we'll have lots of really great action because it's Sandhawk.
Wall Street Bets and B-Town both dropping in Sami. Now, the amount of time it took for that fight to finally break out in yesterday's game was,
oh my god,
Jesus, extremely long. I believe it was over 7 minutes. It was ridiculous. Hoping that will be a little bit quicker, because with this phase 1 encapsulating such a heavy part, if not the whole of the Southwest Island, it will be a really big advantage for either Wall Street Bets or B-Town to get an early squad up and move north onto kind of the Pineland Hills area and get a lot of early information.
we actually saw Pro Era go up to the northern side by Cow. up to the very, very north and just completely avoided Lazarus altogether. So Lazarus like, yes, we finally won after 4 weeks, but Syndicate now getting immediate payback from Illuminati. Illuminati really coming off their high from the last match, and yesterday they lost it way too early. They're the first team to go out in Sandhawk. This time getting the jump onto Syndicate. Salty. Poor Salty. He's going to be the first one knocked from his team. Maybe he can crawl back, but Illuminati, if they don't go for the fly, I mean, he's able to get back behind this wall and actually just allowing Salty to come back to the rest of his team.
Really? Really, Illuminati?
Really? Really?
Really? You have a player knocked on the opposing team, and you're not really going to look to push on that? And you're allowing them to get the revive off? Where is the balls? Where's the cojones? Where's the aggression? Where's the control? Where's the wanting to win the fight? That's not gonna lie, that's a big missed opportunity.
Yeah, they just, I mean, I guess AZ coming around, just kind of having that little, oop, oh, Radmate not know that AZ is there. But AZ, look, he doesn't have a helmet. He doesn't have a vest. All they did was grab he has a Vector. At least he's got the extended mag on it. But that's just, I don't know. It's just very, very surprising that they allowed him to go back up. But it looks like on the other side of the map, Jesus the Panthers Christ. And Mezexis, I know they already got a knock onto one player from Mezexis. They got the flush already. And now it's going to be the Panthers also with one player knocked. They're able to get the revive up, but still Mezexis, I mean, they are going to be a little bit more defensive about this as 4 players from the Panthers are going to be pushing up onto them. Snake off.
On.
Come on. Open your, oh, you did.
Bingo.
I mean, did you need a scope in with the 3 times like 10 meters in front of you?
Why not? Why not? Hey, look, you know what? Why not? It still got the job done. You're kind of right, but when you're snake down, you might not be thinking so much what scope you have on your gun. At the end of the day, if you have the accuracy, you have the accuracy. So good play from the Panthers. Good composure. Still a full squad. 3 on top of it. Is it 3 or all 4 on top of the hill? It's all 4 on top of the hill. I would like to see them spread their wings a bit more heavily. They have the opportunity of shifting towards the southeastern side of this circle, basically in the southern edge of Quarry or the cave point, which is quite high ground. I know they want to move with caution because they know the players of Mezexis are still around them. Moving as a 4-man team is a really big part of that, so nicely done by the Panthers.
Yeah, we still got Yawn, Syndicate and Illuminati not really doing too much. I think the advantage here, it's probably going to be Syndicate just a little bit, because I don't think AZ ever really had a proper loot. Because all he did was, get the Vector and come all the way around, while Syndicate has all the time in the middle. They've been able to loot all the buildings as Illuminati just kind of stretching all the way around. But finally, this fight is breaking out a little bit more from Mezexis and the Panthers as Frady is pushing up down into the compound with them. And you said they were up on the hill, and now they're all down into the compound. As a grenade from Kino, that was perfect. It's 2 of them actually, Illuminati and Frady. So Mezexis, all of a sudden, within a split second, tables have turned into Mezexis' favor.
Kino pulled off a near 1v4 the last game in a Miramar game yesterday. Not quite able to do that, but I'm forced to ask, where was the rest of Mezexis? What took them so long? And why are you going for the revive on the Kino? Just have the cojones to go for the push along the way. There you go. Dance around. The pre-fire shots. Mozo's low in health. Oh my god, Mozo gets knocked out. It's a double knock. What are we seeing right now, Monica? This is the throws of all throws. The kills come through. Finally, Mezexis are shut down. But the Panthers, talk about giving themselves a hard job, like.
You're like, where's the balls? Where are the cojones? Clearly not on this universe at this point, because we just, I don't know, it was just, I mean, he got the double knock, and then you know the Panthers were like, oh, we can't let you one up us, we're gonna get a double knock back onto you guys and take out Mazexis, the first team out of Sandhawk. But now Wall Street Bets and B-Town are kind of the one that we all kind of been supporting now. We're like, B-Town, yes, we love like an underdog story, and we love to see them do really, really well. As we now have, Drago throwing in a grenade right in front of him as his other teammate does get flushed out by Isajat. That grenade, though, it just did like a little bit of damage, but did not get any sort of knocks onto B-Town.
Yeah, 7 minutes in once again, and the fight's only breaking out. It's just really weird. Baba gets knocked. The Pride of Pakistan comes through, but it's Drago to step up to the plate and send the members of B-Town back into the nether realm. Extremely well played. He's going to go once again for the drop shot. He's still surviving, still striving. His teammate comes in from behind. That is so close yet so far, but he plays into the house. He's running rings around the players of B-Town. You might call them B-Town, but after this fight, if they lose it, they should be called Z-Town. Back into the lobby they will go if Drago is able to pull this off.
Drago, I mean, we might just see another 4-piece 1 versus 4 again tonight, potentially, but we are seeing a little bit of revive. I want to see Drago. So Drago's like, all the spotlight has been on Gray from B-Town this entire night. I'm like, I want a little bit piece of that. I want to be able to post a clip onto Twitter as well and get like 20 retweets. So Peaceful, grenade in hand. Drago, come on, you can't do it. No. And Drago, actually, okay, perfectly. There was actually a wall there to prevent him from getting knocked. So Drago, he might still have a little bit of redemption, might be able to still get this 4-piece onto B-Town.
I kind of wish Drago had massively pushed that, but I recognize the value of doing the damage enough to get the revives onto your teammates. They have the numbers advantage in this fight. We're a minute and a half later than when we first showed up on this fight initiating. And considering Wall Street Bets kind of started this one with a player down, the turnaround all from the hands of Drago has been pretty impressive.
Okay, Drago, you can see third person perspective. You can see Peaceful's got a flash grenade that I think he gave a little bit of a juke to Drago, but I mean, we still have it. This happens all the time. The circle is already centered up once again on the hill of boot camp, and we're always just waiting for this fight. It's always the first like 10 minutes of the game. It's like Wall Street Bets, B-Town, Lazarus versus Pro Era, and Illuminati versus Syndicate. Like, so nothing has really happened here except a couple of casualties on either side. It's a Jat though. Fine, Steve-O. If he can go for the flush, it'll be a fair 2 versus 2.
Isajat is a very sneaky player in the way he can, you know, turn something around in his favor. It is at the risk of his teammate being separated. He gets knocked and confirmed. We're in a 1v2. There you go. Nice one, Isajat. Not only confirm the kill, but take the information away. Pre-fires, he's going to play around the buildings. This is wonderful movement by Isajat. At the end of the day, the two players from Wall Street Bets right now are separated. Phase 2 has popped up. It's shifted heavily up north on a side note, so the trifecta compounds are in place. All 3 parts of the map are evenly distributed in this phase 2. So I think that's why Isajat is maybe looking to completely disengage away from this fight.
Can we hop on the Knights and the hit list though, because they're going back and forth, and then we're still watching Isajat. So I mean, they're pushing up onto him, but I think we'd really love to see Knights versus the hit list. But I mean, I guess Baba, they're going to be waiting here as it looks like Axa coming in and stealing a kill away from the Knights. Drago finishing off Isajat. So it was indeed a 4-piece, actually like 5, can you call it a 5-piece? Because he re-knocked one of the players that did get revived, but like 5 knocks/kills onto B-Town.
Ogilvy's position, 3-1 split, is perfect right now. Yeah. How they control it is going to be up to them. Knight Xenox gets a lovely pre-fire on the Polo of Exit. Gotta be careful jumping over the walls, but the last player from Knight Xenox goes down. He's able to take one of Exit with him, but in the end, down he goes back to the lobby.
Yeah, just right in the center there with that compound. I mean, we didn't really get to see that much, but it looks like the hitless Knights are having their fight. I believe the Knights were just dwindled really low and really weak as they took out the hit list, and then Xset, you know, ever the third partiers, he just come in, clean it up a little bit, and finish them out. So Xset with all of the kills, I think, from the remaining players, but they did lose Polo in the fight.
What,
Circle.
Ogilvy's moving up Bootcamp Hill. Sorry to cut you off, but I find that really weird. I think the trifecta compound is a little bit okay. It's a little bit safer than Bootcamp Hill, but Bootcamp Hill, if you get there, is obviously potentially more controlling. I just think it's too late into the phase to move up the hill. That's why I'm very surprised by it.
It's getting me. Who was it? Remember the circle ended like down by the road on the bottom of this hill? Was it yesterday? I think everyone was like, I'm like, these circles, they keep repeating themselves. Like, we really want to go for this. Ogilvy
nice one.
it next to Accent. Quick, immediate knock and a flush as kill switch is now like crap. Where is the snake in the grass?
Yeah, look, well played by Ogilvy. They were extremely clever in the way they moved up the hill, not presumptuous, aware that there could be already a team there, got the information. So as much as I showed my concern, they proved me wrong in the ability of pushing Xset away. Nicely done. And I would argue Xset's inability to really push this fight or counter it is kind of off the back of them losing a player at the hands of Knights. That is that domino effect of losing a player early on. Polo probably didn't need to go down, and yeah, in the end he did. So Xset being pushed back away. Now, Ogilvy really can't push that. They know they probably can't because of 19E being in bootcamp. The only way is if they hear a couple of shots on board later on is, ooh, Trey gets a double knock with the players on the bike. The Panthers are getting punished. I absolutely love it. I'll never stop loving it. I'll never ever stop loving it.
We stand Imperium saying ooh in the ooh voice. It is the stream just turned explicit, guys. You got to be like 30 years or older to watch this stream. NSFW for sure. All right, so UYU. I can't say it like naturally until I say it a lot, but we got Frady Knock legal in the background on the receiving end of all the red dot spray shots from M7 from
pretty good.
Nemesis switching over to his M4. But I mean the Panthers, it's really just they're all stuck out of the blue. I mean it's only legal left alive, stuck out of the blue zone, running out of time, and we hope to God he has some meds over there.
This is some fantastic aggression by UYU. 14 that aren't known to be amazing in Sandhawk. And they're even going for a great kind of spread of having one player in the circle sending it in to get an anchor point. However, this is going to be easier said than done. Trey has already gotten 2 knocks. And Nemesis, okay, he comes back because of that knock onto Salt. Will get the final kill. So that's good awareness, good communication, great teamwork from UYU. It's the first time in a while I've seen that level of aggression and teamwork from UYU, and it's pretty refreshing. That's what they're capable of in PMPL.
Yeah, he was like, you got Uyu, you got Milk, as he goes out of the circle to finish him off. You guys have saw the explanation before. Uyu, I'm not Korean, so I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's how you say milk in Korean, so that's kind of the running joke with this organization. So welcome to Mobile Esports, UYU. Welcome to PUBG Mobile. We love to have you here.
19E now pushing into the boot camp buildings, going for the shots, and that is Pro Error taken out of the game, as are the Panthers eliminated just like that. 12 teams left, 41 players alive. Ghost Gaming have a lovely spread near the top of the hill, overlooking Dope. It's a good spread, maybe a little bit risky from Ghost because it might not have that kind of one player gets knocked, able to get revived, or that straight up counter knock. Ghost Gaming, they pretty much know what they're doing, and with the phase 4 shifting up, they could choose to stay there and gatekeep Dope more heavily and push onto them.
However, because they're only a 3-person team, prioritizing the edge of the circle for now could be a lot more advantageous.
If the circle shifting to the south, like giving it to Wall Street bets, they're like, oh, we lost so much time staying in Sami, having this never-ending fight, and the circle shifts all the way down. And I think that's pretty similar to what happened in 19 Esports the other day on, I think, the first game of Wrangle. Remember, they're outside the circle forever, and they're just going to be on the edge, and the circle actually ping-ponged in their direction. So, I mean, 19 Esports, they won off the back of that shift, so maybe Wall Street bets will be in a similar position, but they have to be a little wary because Boring Protocol are just to the edge of them on the side of that huge mountain just to the southeast of Painan. Ghosts are starting to rotate. They got the cars. I know you kind of like docked, like you're like, I don't know, cars and Sandhog, but I think it's really, really nice for these kind of last second ditch rotations to try to get into the circle when it shifts away from you.
Ogilvy have the buildings. Illuminati. Oh no. Oh no. It's all going horribly wrong. And that's the kind of risk of pushing in and just going in blind, and they're down to 2 players. Excess still holding on, but that vehicle is smoking, so can't see them staying in there for too long. Ogilvy are doing a great job of just creating a lot of space around them. They're making a lot of noise, but by having players in and out of the compound, they're able to be proactive. If they were all in those buildings, their ability to really spot people and shoot would be, lowered so much more.
Yeah. I mean, so Illuminati and Syndicate both left Camp Bravo eventually, so what was the point of landing together and holding each other for 10 minutes within the camp, and they were just going to be like, oh, okay, bye, I'll see you later, like in the circle? So I mean, there's nothing really came out from that. Syndicate, Illuminati, all of them still 4-man until Illuminati came in and were taken apart a little bit by Ogilvy. Xset now waiting in the grass as they've got Ogilvy on one side and Syndicate on the other. Syndicate still not quite within the circle, as now Dope is coming up a little bit north of them onto Team UIU.
Lazarus have an opportunity of bridge keeping, you could argue. To an extent, the members of Nova. UIU, this is really good. Maybe biting off more than they could chew, but I still appreciate the aggression. Not quite aware of where all of the Dope players were at that point. Nemesis yet to get revived up, but I like this. I prefer them prioritizing this squad wipe in the end, but as the smoke is being played out, he's giving a little bit of space to the final player of, there you go, final player Dope. It's going to get confirmed up now. UIU left with just 2. Trey and Salt together, they stand united, they fall. The circle shifts, it goes over to the northwest, should I say. So these 2 to 3 teams are all very far away from the circle.
Yeah, Illuminati, they're just getting the real short end of the stick because they were landing with Boring Protocol. They're like, we're going to switch it up 1 week before PMPL. We're going to start going over to Syndicate. And it's still not that great of a spot either, so they still need to find somewhere on Sandhog to consistently land. Syndicate actually just finished out Team Xset as we see Wall Street Bets stuck in Painan right alongside of Boring Protocol and Ghost Gaming pushing up right behind them. Wall Street Bets, can Drago do it again and try to defend themselves from an entire team pushing up right behind them?
Oh no! Oh, risky push by Lazarus, made far too easy indeed, and Telly is left on his own. There is no need for you to push down the bridge. I get it with an element of proactivity, but unless you fire, I don't know how it all played out, but the utility maybe wasn't used in the right way. A nade here, a nade there, a nade around the bridge could have been a lot more valuable before that push played out. Either way, Nova will survive as a full squad. Ogilvy pushing in, 19 ego down to the ground. 7 kills for Ogilvy in this game so far. They deserve to make it into the top 7. Being very aggressive, very proactive, focused, concise. Ghost Spec is going to have to do the same thing against Wall Street Bets.
Yeah, now they're going to be pushing on Intense, actually a little bit forward, a little bit more forward than the rest of his team. Hopefully he can win his ones, as he maybe should wait just a little bit longer for Spec and them. And yep, that's exactly what he does. Pushing in unison, pushing as a unit, as Baba and Drago just a little bit ahead of him. They're just waiting. HHG4 running out in the open, but they know exactly where he's at now. The blue zone just envelops. HHG4 actually coming on the other side of the truck as Wall Street Bets now have been eliminated from Team Ghost, but Team Boring Protocol, Kais, not giving them any chance whatsoever as Tensa just inside the wall, and it was GG's like that.
Yeah, they both went down. But you know
yeah.
what? You're going to go down swinging the blue zone. The words of Mustache Dave and Hot Jukes, Papa Blue is come to play in this Sandhawk game. 2 teams left. Nova, they took down Lazarus swiftly. But now they're going to meet their match. Ogilvy, like I said, have been incredibly proactive, but the circle does center up and shifts away from them. I believe 1 or 2 of the Nova players are just in the tip of the circle. YDD and Memory. Ogilvy have a bit of a spread either side of the road. Both of these teams are set up pretty damn well, Monica.
I mean, remember before in the match, you're like, where are the balls? Where are the cojones? I think the cojones are with Ogilvy, as I saw one of their players, I think it was Glaz, still has the AWM at the very, very end of this match. I mean, you know, you got the confidence where you're like, you know, I can try to snipe somebody right here, Glaz, with the UWM right in front of me, as Nova Esports has to come out, has to cross the street. They're half of the team to the north. Somehow they've allowed Rin just to kind of freely run in the road, as now Vayne is knocked, and this is going to be the chance for Nova Esports to kind of, reset themselves, get in the circle a little bit more, and push on up to Ogilvy.
I love the fact that Nova are just pushing in on this. They technically don't have to. YDD is put down to a sliver of health. He does get a double knock. This is incredibly good. But Glass, he may not be made of glass, but let's see if he can shatter and smash and broke the pieces of players of Nova one by one the side of the wall. But the last player standing, I don't know who won. It's Ogilvy that won in the end. Absolutely wild. I appreciate the Nova push from into the open to the side of the wall, but it's Ogilvy that survived. They strived and they come out on top.
Like I said, still having an AWM at the very, very end there, you can obviously see where that is not advantageous to you, where Glaz was out of bullets from his M4, had to switch to an AWM in close quarter combat. He obviously had so many crates around him from the fight that happened between Knights, I believe it was the hit list and Xset all right in front of him. He could have picked up, an Uzi, a Vector, an M7, something would have been lying around. I probably would have switched onto that. But fortunately for him, they're going to get the win anyway, with 12 kills.
Oh god. Man, what a game. What an absolute game. I loved it. I really loved it. Such an entertaining Sandhawk game. Teams were out for blood in that game, I felt. I really can't argue with how Ogilvy played. I questioned their initial reposition from the Trifecta compound to Bootcamp Hill, but they proved me wrong in that sense by getting a kill and pushing Xset back. Definitely benefited by the fact that Xset had already lost a player, but at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. When I'm trying to isolate on how a team plays and how good a team are, I try to look primarily at how they're playing, not necessarily what I know, because they don't know that Xset had already lost a player, right? They didn't technically know how many players of a team were up in that hill. They just played the entry point both safely but also aggressively at the same time, and from there it was all theirs.
I was laughing because when Ghost was pushing up onto Wall Street Bets, I was like, I don't know, Tetsuya, hopefully he can win his 1v1 because he's a little bit separate from everyone else. And he just tagged me. It was like, hopefully I can win my ones STFU at me. So, we'll be back though with Miramar, match number 4, and it'll be our second to last match of this entire event. Thank you for sticking with us for 19 days. We'll be right back with the overall scores. Which number quattro?
Which number quattro?
Remember when we wanted to do this whisper casting, and then your mic won't turn
So, Monica. Yeah, but it's turned on now. So
weird.
I really love the fact that we're getting into the 4th game of the day, but I'm also a little bit sad, Monica, that this is the final day of the Trovo Invitational. But I hope everybody has had a good time across all of the 19 days. For me, it's been a pleasure to cast these games.
So uncomfortable. Will that be our segue into the scores?
Yes, that should be.
Hard segue into the scores. For total overall, we have got, after 4 matches, we have Ghost Gaming now breaking 900 points. Man, let's last second add like 3 more days of this just to see, like, oh, we don't need 3 days, but like one more day of this just to see if it can break 1,000 points.
Well, okay, damn. I thought you were gonna say 3 more days to see if the Knights could catch up, and you know, when you're changing it to 1, I was gonna be like, well, Knights will probably need 3 days. Damn, it didn't work out. But okay, yeah, one more day, they could probably break the 1,000 point mark. It would be definitely impressive. You know.
That's okay. So we have 459 total kills from the Ghost Gaming. Remember a couple weeks ago I kept messing up and I was like, it's just the Knights, and I was like, Knights Gaming. Like I kept saying Knights Game, like to add, because it's like Ghost Gaming, Nova Esports, like 19 Esports. Like it all has that. I was like, there goes Knights Esport Gaming going for the push.
You always expect it because it's so stereotypical.
Yeah.
That you know, most esports teams will have either gaming, esport, or something at the end of their name. It's normally not a one-word thing, so it is pretty normal. You call them Pittsburgh Knights, although they're not officially known as that anymore. The association is still there, but yeah. Either way, into this game 4, back onto the wonderful desert mountains of Miramar. The playing path is pretty heavily west based.
Yep, and we had, you know, the Pittsburgh Knights Esports Gaming. They won match number 1 and match number 2 from earlier today, so maybe they can get, like you said, not back to back, but back to back Miramar, and maybe a back to back Wrangle as well. But definitely Knights. Right now we have Coops as top fragger for tonight with 11 kills. So let's see if he can get any higher. This entire season he's been like, I'm just throwing just so, you know, Xenex can look good as a new member on our team, so nobody can say like he wasn't a good pickup. But we have the circle, first one. I don't think you could get any more center than this circle.
Oh, that's a beautiful circle. That is a work of art. That should be screenshotted, sold as an NFT. It's such a good circle. I think I made that joke already once before on a side note, but I think it's good enough to make again.
Screenshot it, hung up right next to the Mona Lisa. That kind of circle, guys, that you see once in a while.
By the way, just to say, like, I warned people in chat that the intro was going to be really fucking weird. And people are like, no. I'm like, well, I did warn it. Ghost Gaming will probably head towards the Picado Hills, so the hit list need to be extremely careful with how they position themselves and how quickly they join up as a full squad. The split drop is great where they are, but when that circle is so central, I believe yesterday, in one of the games, they had a player get caught out because they didn't join up quickly enough. I forget who it was exactly. So that kind of thing, they need to learn from that. I think so.
We thunk so. Lazarus on the southern. Okay, one time forever ago, the OGs remember. I was casting something like 2 years ago, and I said I was like, no way would the circle ever end up on there. All the teams, you know, they know it's gonna be on the mainland, and then sure enough, 4 circles later, and ended up in Los Igos on the very southern island of Miramar. I was like, well, I definitely, you know, ate my words. I
Wait,
don't need
what?
to eat. I was like, I don't need to eat dinner tonight. Yeah, they're like the far south
Really?
circle, all the way. I was like, no, I was like,
Wow.
no way. And it shifted all the way down there, all the
Well,
time. I think
see-
Nova won that one. Or it was Nova or Xset. Nova or Xset, I don't remember.
Well, see, here's the thing. It's the kind of you were right at that time to call it, as a lot of commentators would, because it's up to us to, and it's up to the teams to play the odds. You can't always predict, but the odds of it ending in a city are quite low, as an example. So it might hover around a city, but the chances of it ending in a city are quite low. So the same thing is like Los Higos, the chances of it ending in Los Higos are extremely low. So you're right at the time to call it. Yeah, it's just, it can happen on a very, very rare occasion.
Remember yesterday how I said, hey, we should just, at the beginning of this match, I should just sit here and be like, I really think this is Illuminati's game to win. I really think Syndicate's going to win this match, and say all the different different teams to set myself up. I feel like you do the opposite, where you like set yourself up to eat your words. And because I remember specifically Miramar yesterday, 4th game, you said, no way it's going to end in the city. And then sure enough, it ended right in Los Leones, that we had a ghost win right above
Exactly. And I love being proven wrong. I really do. I say things because, yes, I stand by them at the time, but I'm open to being proven wrong and teams pushing me away in that sense. I highlighted about Ogilvy. I mentioned that risk in the last game of pushing up Bootcamp Hill, and they proved me wrong. All for Bring It On. If that kind of technically motivates you to an extent of saying fuck you Imperium, hey, all the better if it means that you perform. No, it's true, because you know, if that motivation is there to prove me wrong, then if that helps you, then go for it, even in a tiny way. But getting back to the game, Mizexus have 24k quite east from their drop spot in El Pozo, which makes complete sense. It's a bit of a deeper phase on Anchor Point. The rest of the team will look to join up. We're barely into the blue zone, closing in on phase 1, so the rotations will only start to really move now, such as Ghost Gaming, although they're normally a little bit quicker from Picado. Again, they know what they're doing. 19E though, they're gonna have to know what they're doing when they face up against Illuminati.
Yeah, I think Ghost, I think Picado is pretty much dead in the center, so they don't really need to go anywhere. Doing kind of similar to the first game in Erangel, where it was centered right over Razak and Lazarus. They didn't really leave anywhere at all. We got some home bodies in this match, the ones who drop in the center like that when they're already in the city. So 19 Esports, they were taken out a little bit too early in the second match of Miramar. I said they came up into that, what do you call it, that kind of warehouse area just to the southwest of El Azahar, and I was like, they got this in the bag. You know, they know the spot so well, because they used to drop there when they used to split from El Azahar. And then sure enough, Nova Esports come over and just kind of steamrolls through all of them, and all of them did die. I think they were the first, if not the second team to go out in our previous Miramar.
By the way, I love the comment that you put in the chat at the end of that last game saying Ogilvy about to be Illuminati after that game too. That was such a good comment. I laughed my ass off at that during the break. Let's hope that Illuminati don't become Illuminati again. Look, for a team that's coming into the PMPL with generally 4 other people looking at them, low expectations, that's a good thing, because they're not maybe going to be as heavily focused by other teams. There's going to be less of a priority, so that element of surprise could work out in their favor. I'm not saying they're going to be at the very top of the table, but if they pull things out in the right way over the weeks of the PMPL, I could see them being top 5, top 6 coming into the finals. It is possible. It's always possible.
Hey, when you have no expectations, that's when you're able to exceed everyone's expectations. If you're able to
Yeah.
pop off, just like we saw, like Grave from B Town, from like I mean, Drago was already good. I remember Drago the first time I tagged, he was a top something fragger. I think he was like top fragger. I think week 2, like 2 nights in a row or something like that. I went to tag and I was like, is this the correct person? I looked, this person only had 2 clips and he was from Xerx's, his previous team. And the only clips he had on Twitter was like a 1v3 and a 1v4, like 1v4 on Accent and a 1v3 on a different team. I don't remember. I was like, oh, like this is definitely the guy. This is definitely the right guy to tag in the post. So hopefully we'll see Drago once again show up on the top fraggers list for tonight.
Does my mic sound like ass again?
I don't think it sounds that bad, but maybe it's transferring a little bit differently into the stream.
Maybe it is transferring differently through the
Discord
broadcaster. I don't know. Yeah, or maybe it's a Discord thing. It's really freaking weird. It's annoying me. Apologies to those in chat that have to deal with my shitty ass mic quality. I might change to my Elgato Wave 3 just for the last game, even though it's not overall not as good. It could just be a bit more consistent. Except I like that little bit of aggression towards the edge of the circle. Phase 2 pops up, it centers quite nicely, so I think them being aggressive in this moment is extremely valuable. They know they have Syndicate separated. Hell, I'm wondering why Syndicate are so heavily separated towards the end of phase 1.
I mean, they do the split. So if they're not going up to Cruz de Valley, they split kind of just the southwest of Picado, and maybe Xat able to identify this, found one by themselves, and he was 1 HP inside this little shack, and no way for the rest of his teammates to provide him any sort of support. And it puts Syndicate down to only 3. So right now they don't really have a way to get out of here with Exa just watching every single corner here. And Exa, you know, once they take a little nibble out of dinner, they definitely want to finish their food and finish off this fight and collect those 3 kills. Remember, Exa the one who set the record for the total amount of kills in one match, and that was yesterday in, was it Miramar or Wrangell? That they got 21. It was Miramar in 21 kills.
Yeah, 21 kills. A massive game they had. Insane to see. It can be repeated. It's going to be a tough order. I know that much. Ogilvy working well on their position just a little bit to the south of Power Grid. You can see Knights in the kill feed getting knocked by Pro Era. The hit list did overall do what I would have liked to see them do, which is join up pretty early on that split drop. The only thing is, it's a pretty heavy 2-2 split, and I kind of feel like they've allowed teams to maybe encroach on their area a little bit too easily, such as Mizexis. Ghost Gamer are still in Picado, which is very unusual for them.
I think they identified that they had to move from there, so probably all the other spots in the circle have been taken up. But it looks like AXA did push up onto Team Syndicate. They have 1 player knocked from either team, but Syndicate, they already lost WAP a little earlier in the shack, so already at a disadvantage in this fight. AXA, though, they're going to take a little bit of time, revive J7 as Kilcher is going to continue to apply the pressure onto the bleeding wound that is going to be Syndicate. He's going to be waiting for them as J7 takes his gear time, heals on up, and now it's time to push.
It's time to push, it's time to party. Exa here to crash on through. Kill switch is going to get naded down to half health. You like that little bit of a song and dance? I know, I'm wasting my talent on casting right now, but Exa certainly are wasting the opportunity to push in onto Syndicate and knock onto Rad. Another one comes in, just one left. Salty in the smoke outside the building. Polo, ooh, sliver of health left for him, but for the moment he should be able to hold on as the last player. Syndicate, it's only a matter of time, and it is indeed B-Town that get the third party. So Exit, they have another contender in this fight.
Our dark horse for tonight, B-Town literally leaving all of their efforts to the very, very end. I mean, I think last week B-Town did finish first place overall in 2 nights in a row. I want to say it was last Thursday and Friday. So B-Town just really, they're like, we're going to go out, go big or go home, and they're going to go big for this last day of our Invitational. I mean, they probably, I think, come up a little bit closer, but they did steal a couple of those kills onto Syndicate. They've got Exit pretty much all trapped together as they're kind of surrounding these buildings. Just make sure they don't get picked off one by one, as Drake is going to be having a little bit of an off angle onto this side from Exit, hoping that one of them come out a little bit closer to try to push up onto the rest of his team. Polo inside.
Beautiful turn. Beautiful turn.
He came in, isolated himself from the rest of his team, Polo did, while you don't really know where anyone else is. Kill switch now getting knocked from Drake from the side. It's just, they're just going down one by one by one, as also Peaceful going down as well. Now both of these teams kind of in shambles trying to fight against each other.
Oh wow, that's a beautiful push by Alucard, recognizing that that player was isolated on his own, and as a push comes in from I believe the last remaining B-Town player, Drake, possibly going to go for the revive, and they'll reset across the board because Xenox finally doing something in this game. I love you, Xenox. I love you. I joke. Gets a kill, but we're back over to this fight. And oh no, Drake. You hate to see it. Yeah, it's a bit of a reset 2v2. Don't go for the third player reset. It's just going to be that clean fight on board between the two teams. Nice nays. The knock is pulled off. Is a Jat is left on his own. It's a 1v1.
I mean, you love to see players that you know are so good that chat is able to say, Coops, you're trash if you don't 1v4, you know? But Killswitch, last one up from his team. Now, he was your top fragger from yesterday. So, I mean, M16 in hand. I mean, I'm not super confident in M16, but Killswitch, I mean, he's so good with all the different guns that he has. And hopefully he's going to be able to win this one out. But one of those fights in the blue zone.
Why? Oh, okay. So it's B-Town that got taken out. Kill switch with the M16. Got the final kill. We also see Ogilvy going down at the hands of... Sorry, Nike going down at the hands of Ogilvy. So Ogilvy doing a great job of defending their... They'd been here for quite a while, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad we caught the little end part of it, but we're waiting for the circle to shift again as Illuminati is now coming over the top of Ogilvy and looking to steal some kills onto them.
Ooh, okay, Illuminati, you've been here for a while. You have a chance to, pull off a little bit of an opportunistic engagement onto Ogilvy. It's easier said than done though, because you can see it's extremely flat in front of Mango, so he knows that if he oversteps even just a meter, he's easy there for the pickings. And with his teammate AZ knocked, I'm left wondering why in the absolute blue hell is Lan still where he is, unless he doesn't have a vehicle, in which case I can maybe understand that. If that's the case, then just get the hell out of there and leave Ogilvy alone. You're better off at this point of phase 4, as it's gone down over to the east, down to Picado Hill. You're just better off prioritizing joining back up together as much of a team as possible and maybe getting the hell out of there.
Yeah, getting the hell out of there indeed. The hit list, we always seem to see them outside the circle on the side. They're very slow to come out of this section of the map. And it looks like Ogilvy Mango finding the lash out onto Khan 79 as he was driving away with the buggy. And Illuminati all still 4 members up. And the hit list is just, I don't know, they're still kind of in this general area. 3 different teams chokeholding each other outside the circle, unable to disengage and unable to get into the circle that did shift a little bit further into the east side from them.
Yeah, Illuminati did what I kind of wanted them to do, which is prioritize just joining back up as a team. So that's pretty well played. Plus they got the revive onto their 4th player, so they're back up as a full squad. The hit list already on 4 kills. Yes, they've lost Jachi, but Midnight, XE, and Bambambilla doing a great job, and kill switch, check set, down you go. Lovely spray by Midnight.
Womp womp. It's okay. Kill switch, he's a great guy. Unfortunately, he did not live any longer in this match, as we're now down to 11 teams left alive in the match. Boring Protocol. And we have Nova Esports, all four of them, all still up. We have one is knocked from Boring Protocol up in the Hacienda area. And Nova Esports, still just infamous for their splits, just infamous for playing so confidently out and about like that, to have the different angles, to pick off these little fights. And as Boring Protocol, the pressure's on them to try to get in the circle because they have Ghost Gaming right in front of them and Nova on the other side. So there's not really, it's going to be very, very tough for Boring Protocol to come any further in the circle.
And this kind of circle shift, and I should have highlighted it earlier, is the kind of circle shift where no team really wants to be in the center, so everybody's going to play on edge. That makes it automatically a lot harder for the teams who are outside the circle of entering in, especially for Illuminati, because they're uphill moving down. Yep. It's obviously a lot more exposed.
Yep. Knights, they have a wonderful spot in the circle. They have the hit list right where they want them, as Coop throws the nade right over into the dip that the hit list is at, and it's going to be only Bob and Bill left alive. Circle shifting now in. Now Boring Protocol is coming just a little bit further. Ghost Gaming knows, they heard the vehicles. They know they have them. They have the time to kind of stop this invasion into the circle for Boring Protocol, as Ghost Gaming 3-man strong, however, against the full force team, all four up from Boring Protocol.
Ghost Gaming, they've lost Tensa, unfortunately, but with HH24 still alive, the Miracle Man can pull something big off. Indeed, the Phase 5 shifting up north. Once again, it's really not a good circle. Towards the end, it's very flat. There's not too many hard dips to cover. It's if you have 3 to 4 vehicles, you might be able to get quite a good bit further into the game, but other than that, I worry about Dope. Wall Street Bets, they have 4 vehicles. They're coming in from the southeast, so they might fare a lot better.
The stock market going up this time for Wall Street Bets. Their cryptocurrency going all the way up, as they're having 4-man. Really good stuff from them. Nemesis getting naded from Steve-O, as they're going to be in a little bit of a dip right in front of them. And I'd be really scared for them. Boring Protocol, though, I was scared for them because they were encroaching right in between Nova Esports and Ghost Gaming. So Boring Protocol, they already lost Fame Boys. Russell is knocked and finished out, actually. So I really don't know. It was hard enough with 4, and now they only have 2. Whatever are they going to do, Imperium?
Just look to stay absolutely quiet and hope that Nova and Ghost focus more heavily on each other. It was a great push down the hill by Wall Street Bets, in which they took down 2 of the UYU players, and that's something that UYU, who'd been here for quite a while, probably should have been better prepared for. Salt.
Oh, what?
Okay. What? I'm sorry, but what in the fucking blue hell is that? Your teammate isn't with you. You're going in on your own, and yeah, okay, you got a knock, and yeah, okay, cool, bye.
Buttons only! That's what he was saying. They're screaming that as they were going. They're like, whoa, we're not in this circle. We might as well go out and pass it.
Desperate times, desperate measures. You can panic sometimes, and it seems to be what happened.
Yeah, Ghost able to see in the kill feed that Boring Protocol was taken out by them and Nova Esports. I hear the car off to the side, but I don't think they can quite go over, especially with Nazexus. And all the other teams on the other side. Playzone does knock Rin. Nova Esports running out of time once again. Circle shifting down now onto the Knights, having the skinny side of the circle, gifting it to them. We could see the back-to-back Miramar wins for the Knights. Imagine them getting 3 wins, maybe even 4 if they can win this one and the next one. But Wall Street Bets, they still only come in after losing King A, and the pressure is on Ghost and especially on Nova to try to get in the circle. Maybe crash up onto where Kino is from Mezexis and try to get in.
Dope had benefited in the previous circle because Wall Street Bets opted to prioritize that eastern edge, and obviously he took out UYU. But now Dope are going to have to deal with Wall Street Bets. They don't quite. For now, it is going to be that 1v1. Drago is being the man of the moment, the man of the hour, gets the drop shot, and just like that, god damn it, lick my nipples and call me Jimmy. Drago is so good in the 1v1s.
I feel like the player from Dope got like stuck on the edge of the truck. It was trying to come around to the other side. Kino does get a knock onto one member of Nova Esports. That's going to be Rin, crashing up right to the side of him. Now it's going to be the rest of Nova Esports focus onto him on the shack, as Knights did get one knock onto Ghost Gaming, but Kino with the vehicle, was it? No, actually with the grenade, actually is going to be taken out in 6th.
Goes down to 2. Actually make that 1 as
that 1.
Spec is taken out. Beowulf on his own. I'm worried about Illuminati, but surviving until this long, I give them a lot of credit for that 5th place. They're taken down in Knights, holding onto the roof. Xenox just going to be the watcher of the night, the watcher of the land on the high ground, is able to really just suppress so many players around him. There's a risk involved with it, of course. However, I gotta commend his confidence around that area. You can see it right now, looking to take the shots on the Stevo. Stevo pros down just about in time. Xenox, come on, you got the shots, There you go. You connected a couple. The hit markers are there. Control your spray. Don't throw, Xenox, don't throw. You're better than that.
Oh, is he actually? Oh, great reaction from him. Get it back, but it's going to be from the side. I believe that was going to be Beowulf that saw him come to the other side of the chimney as the smoke did, just disintegrate from him. So he's going to be taken out. So, like you said, I mean, was it worth the risk? I mean, he had a huge vantage point on Wall Street, but that's like at that split second where he was getting shot back, 5 HP. He forgot about the angle to the left and does get finished out. So Knights, I mean, I was really confident in them, but they only have 2 left. Circle shifted onto their side. They can come out a little bit, but they can, now it's the focus of preventing all the other teams from getting in. Nova Esports is going to try to push up onto Ghost Gaming. Maybe a 2 versus 1, as Beowulf not quite within, but he knows that Nova Esports is going to be right to his left-hand side.
If Knights win this game, I'm claiming credit for that, by the way, because in the Ghost server...
You're unofficial member of Knights.
Yeah, I changed my nickname in the server to Knights Imperium, so I'm just putting it out there. I'm standing Knights for the PMPL, just putting that out there as well. Well, I stand all teams,
We stand Knights. We stand Knights Imperium.
Oh man, Baba gets knocked down. That does hurt Wall Street Bets a little bit, but Nova goes for the push. Beowulf gets 1. It's coming down between Memory and Bale. Prone down, Bale's looking and trying to reload, and oh my lord, with the helps of Coops, Bale survives. Ho ho ho.
He's like, thank you, buddy. We have Coops from up top. Actually knocked Shifan, as Shifan and I think it was Memory pushed up onto Beowulf, and then Beowulf was just like, thank you very much. And then just to finish off, Nova Esports got kind of picked off from 2 different teams. Now Drago getting shot to the side from Beowulf. Beowulf taking a page actually out of HH24's book, and third partying onto Wall Street Bets and trying to go for a flush here and trying to get another kill. 1 kill found so far. Circle right in between Knights and Ghost Gaming, but Beowulf, he really doesn't have anywhere left to go in the middle, as Wall Street Bets is actually taken out by Ghost Gaming. Now it's a 1 versus 2. Beowulf out of the circle, and Knights just need to wait for him to put. Actually, he was able to slip it. So he used that split second. They were focused on Wall Street Bets. They'd be like, whoop, right into the rock in front of him, and Knights is going to both push up as well, right into the right rock alongside of them. So who has the grenades here? Who has the utilities left in this game?
I don't think Beowulf has any nades. I don't think he was even able to kind of loot up the last player, Nova, which is definitely a little bit sad.
Well, there's our answer.
The nades. It seems like Knights too. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, everyone's on the edge of their seats now. Beowulf pushing up, and I mean, Alucard. This is great coordination from Knights. Noose Coops just in the background a little bit and pushing up as one. Knights, I mean, give credit where it's due. Imperium, congratulations for giving Knights the win. A little bit of caster, not the curse this time, but actually a little bit of caster luck for Knights. And 9 kills from Coops. He's at 20 right now.
Caster blessing.
Caster blessing.
Yep.
The curse
Caster
or a blessing? A blessing.
Oh. Yeah, really well played from Knights. There was definitely some circle benefit around that. I won't deny that. It doesn't take away from clearly how proactive Knights were with 9 kills from Coops alone, 4 from Alu, 3 from Xenox, and Chico was just there waving the hands in the air like he just doesn't care. But yeah, there was a decent bit of circle look involved. We highlighted HH24 from Ghost kind of pulling something massive out of the bag in the first Miramar game. This time it was Bayo, and again, that resilience that Ghost shows, the individual kind of ability to pull something out of nothing, is realistically why coming into the PMPL, they are the favorites. It's nothing more that can be said about that. Wall Street Bets really impressed me in this game. They massively impressed me, because there always comes a point in the game, Monica, where you have to like know when to turn up the heat. And when the circle shifts away on that kind of phase 4, phase 5 region, and you're outside the circle, you really got to play with a lot more purpose. Yes, you might not have information. Yes, you might need to take risks. But if you take those risks with purpose, there's a much higher chance you're going to come out on top. And that's what they did. Took out UYU. They then played with purpose on the next circle to take out the last 2 players of Dope. And despite them not, you know, getting in the top 2, that 3rd place with those kills was really deserved.
Yeah, they had all 4 going to the almost to the end. Yeah, but they were just kind of picked off a little bit from Knights. I mean, Knights had couldn't have asked for a better position from them, even though Xenox died a little bit early. They're throwing a little bit early. Coops and Alucard were still able to clutch it up for them. Good for Beowulf as well, losing. I think they lost Tense on their initial rotation from Picado up into that compound just to the south of Hacienda. Yeah. And then they lost, I want to say H and Spec as they pushed down from that compound into that circle as it shifted a little bit further south. But good for Beowulf, able to help finish off Wall Street Bets, finish off Nova, finish off like all these players to secure a 2nd place.
And just real quick before we go to break, big respects to Illuminati. I thought they might have gone down a lot earlier in the game. They put themselves in 5th place. I can see the improvements. I can see the improvements in preparation for PMPL. So good luck to them.
Yeah, so we will be right back with overall scores. The overall scores after the 2nd to last match. The next game will be the last match in Arango. I'm going to miss you guys. The event's almost over. All 19 days. Thank you for being with us from day number 1, and we'll be right back.
ask it correctly. You're not asking the question properly. What do you mean ask the question properly? It's my question. You can't tell me how to ask my question. I will answer your question when you ask it properly. How do I ask it properly? It's my question.
Let's get money, motherfucker, get money. Let's get money, motherfucker, get money. Let's get money, motherfucker, get money.
All right, last match of the night about to start, and we're going into a wrangle.
Oh, sad. It's a little bit bittersweet. It's kind of always the same when it's the last game of any tournament or invitational that you're commentating, where it's like, this is the end after this. There's no more. And again, I know I haven't done all of the days, but it's been a joy when I have, and I know whenever you ask me, I do my best to commentate with you. So yeah, definitely sad that's going to be ending. And yeah, the teams, this is their kind of final chance to at least make a bit of a difference. It's not the most important thing, but it is valuable preparation for the PMPL, and that in itself is amazing.
Hey, bragging rights and last chance for anyone to get a
True.
1 versus 4 clip. Last match to do it. So hopefully we see that tonight, because our other one, or well, I mean, it's not a 1 versus 4 because Drago had like all of his other team there in Sandhawk, so it wasn't like, it was like a 4-piece, but not like a 1 versus 4. Maybe we'll see that in this last match. Let's take a look at the overall scores though, that we can see.
Yes.
So one more game to add on to this, the scores. So we have first place, Ghost Gaming, 917 points. And then second place, Knights, 802. And then let's see, Exit falling just a little shy of Nova Esports now. So really the game, as of like 2 weeks ago, really it was vying for that third place spot. And I think right now it's gonna be kind of a tall thing to ask for Wall Street Bets, 19 Esports. They're tied at 14 points. They might be a little bit out of reach. That's what, 16 points out of fourth place, and then another 21 points out from third place. So maybe it's a little bit out of reach for them, but definitely Nova X at 4-point difference.
So real quick, do you know roughly how many teams make it to the PMPL Americas? Is it 6 teams?
Is that?
Or is it, there should be after this, there should be the, maybe not Americas, but the, after the finals, isn't there going to be with the South American teams? There should be, I'd imagine. You know something, but you don't want to say, or?
No, I really don't.
You're not sure.
Because remember last year they didn't do anything after PMPL on 8.
Didn't they do it after PMPL Spring Split? Didn't they have a PMPL?
Last year in the spring and this year, it was like PMPL NA, PMPL Americas, and then World Invitational, World League, after that in the fall. After that in the spring, but then in the fall, I just went from PMPL NA like straight to PMGC, I want to say.
Okay. Well, I suppose the reason why I at least wanted to say that, because the one thing I'd love the teams to put themselves in a mindset perspective is, let's say there is slots for the next stage available. When you have Wall Street Bets, 19E, Boring Protocol, 3 points dividing those 3 teams in Ogilvy, one of the best things you can use this kind of situation and this kind of event is to train the mentality perspective. So I'd really like to see those 3 teams put a lot of weight behind this game and treat it as if this is the last opportunity for them to secure that spot to the next stage. Because whether it's the league stage to the finals, league stage to Super Weekend, that is something that the teams will have done and are most likely going to experience.
Yo, we got Zexus landing onto XSET. So either Nova paid them to land on XSET to try to keep them from third place, or maybe XSET paid Zexus to be like, hey, we're 4 kills, or we're 4 points behind. We need 4 kills, please and thank you. So we'll see. But Polo, I'm totally trolling, guys. Nobody's paying anybody. But Killswitch finishing out Zexus. Actually, Killswitch to get the knock and then Polo to fist him to death. But XSET 4-man strong when Zexus is only 3. They usually go to Lukova, so they're coming. They're like, we miss you guys. Hey, let's be besties in Milta.
It's the last game. Why not? Push it to the limit. You know? doesn't work out for them for whatever reason. I think the way Mizex is dropped on that city, if they're going for a surprise engagement on Exa, is pretty poor. If you're looking to pull that off, you would, for the most part, drop as a core 2-2 or as a core 4-man in like 2 to 3 buildings, loot as quick as you can, and then move out. Yes, you might want to grab a little bit of info, but the point is you're doing as much as you can to have the element of surprise in a team that normally has a city all to themselves, so subconsciously aren't as quickly prepared for a fight in this compound. But Exet, hey, they know differently, and they punish Mizexus for it.
Yeah, Mizexus is maybe it's just unfamiliar with the city and just kind of landing all separate here. We have Killswitch watching from the side as J7 and Polo smoke there across. As it was like clockwork. It was like, yeah, boys, just like we practiced it. And another one bites the dust from Mizexus. 2 players left.
Just to give you a little bit of info in the circle, at least, it is a bit on the west. So for these 2 teams, the longer Exet kind of leave it to get the squad up, technically the harder it might be. But I do know they're not a team to rotate super early into the circle, plus they are already close by. It's just something to highlight. Nova have a spread on the kind of main road of the South Mainland area. I am curious, Monica, how the Panthers and B-Town are going to rotate from their military island positions.
I want to say, the Panthers who land down in the main military base, they're probably going to come on the western side. But I think B-Town's going to come up on this bridge right to the north, and they might catch the last little bit end of whatever Exet and Mizexus are doing if they kind of keep going up to the north. I think they're going to come, right over, between the water and the gas station and kind of go down that way through farm to try to get within the circle. We'll see what happens here, but we have seen B-Town very slow on the rotate, maybe staying a little bit on the island a little longer than they need to. But everyone else, I'm just looking at the circle. Nova Esports, Nova Esports just, they didn't used to play like this. Like they used to be kind of just clumped all together, like typical, like a lot of these teams in the lobby. But I think just, having their like Chinese coach, having, playing that very much Chinese play style, all spread out like that. And they definitely incorporate it into their play style playing here in North America.
Exactly. Ogilvy's 2-1-1 split is okay for now for phase 1. They'll have to, again, think about joining up because their area of the map is more of a priority. Yeah. For sure. Now we see Exit looking to go in for the killer blow onto the last Mizex's player, and we switch over to another fight that starts to break out, and that's weird. Exit comes in, they get the knock, they get to kill one more player of Mizex's left to go.
They really put Mizex's sub. They're like, sub in the last game. Like, there you go. Like, take on. Oh, actually kills it. They didn't give any chance whatsoever to 24 games. Like, I'm just gonna run for it, and just like, nope, we want all 4 kills. So we have indeed confirmed that Exet did pay Mizex's to drop on them and give them 4 kills. Because right now, actually, they were because remember, they were 4 points behind. So right now, Exet and Nova are currently tied in total points. Both of them at 635 points. But Exet, they've got a good lead on kills. That's the next tiebreaker. At 354 kills from Exet versus a 323 from Nova. So like, if the game just ended now, we would have Exet in 3rd place.
Ghost Gaming moving swiftly towards the southern side of Everest. Everest would be a good place to hold down if Ogilvy wanted to. It may be a little bit too north, west on the phase 1, but as far as getting information, it's incredibly valuable. I don't know if Ghost spotted that player of Ogilvy. I think they have now, at least hearing the footsteps, and that is Exhibit A of why I highlighted Ogilvy, that they should join up as a full squad earlier. I don't say these things because I just like to say it out of my arse. I say it because I say it because I've fucking seen it before, and so, excuse my French, but like, come on, you know, you're better than that, Ogilvy. Please don't make those mistakes in PMPL.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it just Ghost was ready for it, and they just like it wasn't a nick of damage on any of the members of Ghost and Ogilvy. Just so spread out there when they know these teams are going to be doing their first circle rotate, come in a little bit more, protect each other, because you know like that spot is a really good spot to hold down as one player.
Yeah, exactly. Illuminati, they're going to be pinched quite heavily. Already 2 players knocked down. You have UYU on one side, Knights on the other. This is not the kind of sandwich you want to be in, especially so early in the game. I can't see them surviving this. The only way is if there's more of a miracle focus between UYU and Knights, which is possible. For Knights, they're obviously not really going to care who it is. They see a body, they're going to shoot. It's what they've proven to do. And look at that. The players of UYU getting knocked down. I believe that's a double knock by King Huya. Indeed. Onto both Jag and Trey. Well played by him, but he gets knocked down in return.
Yeah, Mango. I mean, it's kind of a lose-lose here because whoever wins this, Knights is going to come right across the street and finish. And look, they've already come in across the street, smoked it out. They're like, I want these kills. Like, Knights is like, we want to beat the... Actually... I mean, Coops right now, he's at 20 kills. He's tied with Spec, who's had the most kills in one night so far this entire league. So he's definitely looking for those kills. And then Coops, he just collected another one, probably did just break the record. But Trey, I mean, he's just, you know, camping in the corner, up on the counter of the kitchen, and waiting to see if Knights will push in a little bit more. And then we have another party goes gaming now coming in and joining the party.
It's a fucking cluster fiesta. Oh my god, I don't know why I can't stop swearing, but I love to see it. This is a dance of death, and Uru are coming out on top. It's the appropriate time to pull it off. Knights are down to 2. Coop's on the roof. Chico inside the building. I think Coop should look to maybe join up with Chico, but I do understand while he's sticking up on the roof. That is another knock in their favor, but in from behind. I don't know who that is, but Coops is going for the call, pour the push, and oh my lord, Knights come out on top. That was incredible.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I mean, Coops is only 10 kills behind Spec on the overall kill fragging leaderboard, so he's definitely coming in for it. 6 more kills if he can find these players. And I think it's the last match. Everyone's like, just send it, just send it, just send it. And you see Axet now coming in from Milta coming up, and they're here. I'm like, oh, where's the hotspot? Where's the party going on in the circle? We want to come join in. Where was our invitation? Now Axet 5 kills found so far, the 4 on the Zexus plus the 1 that they caught along the way. And they know Knights, and there's the 1 member of Illuminati. Maybe they don't have the information on Mango, but they know something happened here. And there's some sort of weak, bleeding out animal stuck in this building that they want to come and kill.
I love this. An absolute clown fiesta in the best possible way. It's also a little bit typical to what can sometimes be the last game of a tournament when some teams have kind of nothing to lose other than maybe a bit of a prize pool. So they tend to maybe go a little bit more full ham. It creates a lot of entertainment. We're already down to 37 players, 12 teams, and we're only halfway through the blue zone of phase 2 closing in. The circles have been shifting quite nicely across the 2 phases. That phase 2 went a bit more down the southeast, so a centralization around where Nova and 19E are on the South Pachinki Hill.
Yeah, Axet, you know, paying very close. They know, actually, as of right now, Axet is above Nova. Nova was really paying attention to them. Axet really paying attention to Nova Esports, knowing that Nova had to lose 1 person somewhere in this match already. So they know they have 3, and Axet is just sending it there like, we want to give enough cushion for us so we can, you know, we're not like waiting desperate at the very end. Like, did we do it? Did we make it into 3rd? Because it's 1st, 2nd, and 3rd that get the money, that get part of the pie, as Mustache Shave likes to say. And we now see Ogilvy finishing off some of the members of Pro Era.
It seems like it's more the other way around because it's the last player of Ogilvy standing. Vayne is going to move away from one nade. Can he avoid the barrage? No, the mini red zone
we could not.
comes inside and takes him out, and Ogilvy, not unsurprisingly, picked off.
Yeah, it's, I mean, the nades really using, focusing on the nades, able to very safely, like, I'm never exposing my body. I'm never exposing myself to potentially get shot and knocked. I'm just nade, and let's let the explosions do all the work for me. Circle now shifting to the hill just to the west side of Pachinki. Exit coming in, and how did B-Town get all the way up there towards that compound with Knights and Mango from Illuminati? But we might see Exit and we might see 19 Esports coming together very close.
Let's go.
As Syndicate and oh my god, the Syndicate in the hit list now in this compound fighting, and it just fights all the way around Imperium.
Yeah, let's just go. Bring it on. More. I want more blood bleeding through the houses of this compound as the hit list and Syndicate start to pick themselves off one by one. Nice nade, by the way, from Wop. Has to be careful. Drops shots in to get the knock, but from behind, Midnight does indeed confirm the squad. A good attempt by Wop. The hit list, the bodies proved to be too much.
Yeah, too much for them. Syndicate, I think a little bit slow. B-Town, again, I was like, why is he up here? But Mango, remember the last member from Illuminati, just camping out in the corner. I mean, now Knights definitely know that he's over there. Chico throwing the grenade in the direction of Mango, just on the wrong side of some of those boxes on inside. So, Coops and Chico. 3 kills found from Chico. I think 5 actually from Coops so far.
Christ,
actually, no, it is 4.
Lazarus.
Somebody else got 1. But yeah, Lazarus finding the Panthers.
Yeah, I think there's one player left from the Panthers, looking to send it into the edge, but isn't going to survive for too much longer. And Lazarus Fears comes in to get the final kill. The Coops burning to the ground. The last player from Illuminati who survived all of this craziness. It's funny because remember when there was the 3 teams that were first in that compound? I said the only way Illuminati were gonna survive was if they focus on each other between UIU and Knights, and that's kind of what happened. A lovely nade knocked by Mango. He's gonna look to push it. A smoke on one side, pushes on the other, goes for the drop shot. Oh, Jesus H motherfucking Christ, Coops, you are just too damn good at this game. Seriously, lock this boy up. He's just incredible. I'm done. How the hell can you win so many 1v1s like that? He's built different, Monica. He's absolutely built different.
Yeah, he just does not lose them. And I mean, Coops, he's really just racking up the kills now. 5 kills now. He needs 5 more to catch up to Spec, who was 10 kills above him at the beginning of the match. I don't believe Spec got any of them as they died a little bit early in, actually very early in the match. Now we have 7 teams left alive. And again, this last game, full sends everywhere. Nova Esports finding themselves on the top of the mountain as a 3-man, as Xset. I mean, Nova Esports, if they want to hold on to their 3rd place spot, because they have lost it at this point to Xset, they're going, why would Nova shoot like that? Like, stop shooting right there with the leaves in his face, so he can't really see where Telly is at all. But Nova Esports, one is knocked in a very dire position. I think Nova just lost their 3rd place to Xset.
Monica, we're 16 minutes in and we're down to 20 players. Like, I love it. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. It puts a massive smile on my face. Lazarus controlling now Pachinki Hill. They push Nova away. Except we're forced to go to those buildings just down by the Pachinki Hill. You have 19E though. Let's not forget about them on the other side of the Pachinki Hill. Not quite as heavily high up. If they deal with hit lists quite nicely, then they'll be able to focus more on the 2 or 3 teams that are in this area.
Oh my, G3 ran over YDDD as he also got out and then knocked Shifen. J7 threw a grenade trying to steal it, but it's just Rin left alive and he knows it. He's like, crap, like Xset, like at this point, I need to outlive Xset. He's hoping and praying that some gods like Lazarus up on the hill may come and wipe out Xset, who's only a 2-man left, and maybe he can get, finish out and maybe like 3rd place, 2nd place, just like snake it into the end and then get the more placement points to secure the 3rd place in the Invitational from them. But yeah, it's just, I mean, 19 esports, they still have all 4, 3 kills found so far. And the hit list a little bit further down below them, coming off the back of wiping Syndicate in this compound, but it's getting smaller and more dense on this hillside.
Oh boy, I love this game. It's such good fun. Pro Era is still continuing in this game as a trio. Just 2 teams out of the remaining 7 that have a full squad. You can see on your right, Exit down to 2, Knights down to 2, Nova down to 1. Pro Era, lovely shots onto Midnight. Be careful where you're peeking. He does have a level 3 helmet, but is quite badly damaged.
I remember asking this question to my players before, like, what's better, like a barely hanging on their level 3 helmet, or like a fully more level 2 backpack? And it depends on what kind of fight you're having. But Pro Era, he was like, I am sick of you shooting me in the side, Midnight. I'm gonna just shoot you right on back, get the headshot, ding, and then just have him knock on the side. I mean, they are within the circle. Barely, actually. I mean, it's so a little bit slow. They're going to be able to revive, get a creep on up a little bit closer into the very, very edge, but we still have 19 esports, King of the Hills. Actually, I'll say King and Queens has got Jamie playing. She's joining her team for the last match today as Birthday Boy Carnage went out to go drink. But now we have 7 teams still left alive in this match.
Ooh. Careful, chat. 19E, have your number. 1 knock from 19E, and I think that should be their moment to push. I get why 19E want to wait.
Yep.
All of these teams... Whoa, okay. If the bloodshed wasn't enough, then the circle shifts would have been entertaining with a lot more players in the lobby. Pachinki Fields is a priority. Still, the edge of Pachinki on the south side is accessible. But for the moment, it's flat open fields, and that has definitely benefited Knights because they were much closer. Acer goes for the shots in the Midnight. The hit list, why did you go for a rotation out of those buildings so quickly?
Yep.
You know, you got to have predicted that the 19E were going to wait at least a little bit of time for you. You had a couple of seconds. I get why you want to move, but at least try and go a little bit more variably around the fields instead of going for a direct rotation. That was quite silly. I know Pro Era on the other side. Yeah, to me, the mistakes were made from the hit list there. Now they're down to 1.
I think this is the classic, concentrate on too many things, because he was focusing on 19 esports up above. Good for him getting a knock onto Acer before Sam able to finish him off. But it's like they came onto that spot. They were in that compound for so long. They should have been able to gather this information onto them, as Nova actually goes down in 6th place. So Axet, I think, is still alive in this match, and they are. So we have officially gotten, I believe, a team to overcome Nova and take the 3rd place away from them. But like I said, the hit list, they should have been able to collect the information on 19 esports and Pro Era, more widely rotate around and get in the circle and not stop right in the middle of them. And then you saw them 2 halves of the team focusing on 19 esports and on Pro Era, and they're just taken out from either side.
Yeah, it was their own mistake. They paid the price. Benefited Pro Era for sure, because they're going to be able to enter the south side without any real trouble. 19E sends Acer a little bit deeper, actually, with another player, so they are going for that 4-man push on the Pro Era. I really like that proactivity from 19E. They have the body advantage. I don't know how much aware they are of it. Nice mollies and nades from Pro Era to try and push 19E back.
Yeah, we have Lazarus. They're going to be right on surrounding the Knights, just a little bit behind them or in the Pachinki trenches. 19 esports, I think Leon just carefully making sure there's nobody over on that side of Pachinki, where there is nobody there, but you cannot rather be safe than sorry. Pro Era still on their side. It's just kind of like, you know, who's going to win this side of the hill? Pro Era Sosa take down just a little bit, but I mean, it's just both of them, they have the circle. They're not like super pressed to push up onto this, but clearly they want to wipe somebody out, because next circle it's definitely going to shift away from them. They'll have to go somewhere. Chico opens the fight against Lazarus with a nade knock as 19 esports coming over onto Pro Era.
Oh, lovely pre-fire shots by Pan. It's very tricky for him in this moment. However, if he's going in some way push, it needs to be with his teammates. Gets a knock on the Sam. This is wonderfully played by Power. I would argue 19E took a little bit too long to really engage on top of the hill. Souza comes in to provide a level of support for his teammate. That's why I highlighted they needed to push together, and it's exactly what they're doing. 19E getting the revive onto Sam. Not quite. Acer is knocked. It's just one player left. Leon on his own. Leon the Lion. Can he roar his team into victory? Can he pull off a Coops?
I'd be so scared to be prone here because you can only look up so far. You know, the angle. Pro Era now all 3 man up as he throws a nade right into the midst of Pro Era. As he's still, you know, Acer kind of coming over. I think trying to. He's like, hey, buddy, like I'm gonna need a revive. Pro Era getting shot by Coops to the side. Actually, J7 now as Coops is focusing on Joey from Lazarus, and it's just mayhem at the very, very end of this match.
Yeah, 19E were gifted a little bit there and able to survive due to Pro Era kind of prioritizing down the hill, which makes sense.
Ow.
Souza getting knocked. It's not the best, but it makes sense for him to push on the wall. The only thing is he didn't look to really move around on the other side, and as his teammate is too far away, too late to get there, it doesn't work out for Souza. Pan is left on his own.
Yeah, Pan left on his own, one by himself, and I mean he's up the hill a little bit. He has the smokes a little bit, but Accent knows he's somewhere. You know, where is this gopher in the hill? And it's just the kind of wild sprays that he knows he's somewhere down there. Finishes him off, and then it's going to be a 2 versus 2 versus 2 in the open fields of Pachinki. Knights, they have the little trench here. I'm liking their spot. They have this kind of hard cover versus 19 Esports probably out by a hay bale and some smoke. Actually, probably that blue crate out there, and Accent just barely within 2. So it really depends. Where is this circle going to shift? Is it going to be right in the middle, and everyone's going to have to hope and pray they have some smokes left to get a little bit further in the circle?
Coops is playing on the roof of the building, which gives him a really good high elevation point compared to the players in the field. The thing for 19E, the benefit is that they've been able to grab a crate. So it gives them kind of that level 3 gear, possibly the likes of the MK14. And what is low-key benefiting them is it's quite obvious Exet are focusing for the time being more on Knights, because that's a direct line of where your opponents are as opposed to 19E. Although just as I say that, Leon gets knocked, Jesus.
To him. I mean, they're going to have a little bit of cover, but yeah, this is kind of like the Bermuda Triangle kind of terror. As now it's going to be Accent to get the short end of the stick, and they're going to have to come out. I mean, they should probably use the opportunity where Knights is more focused on 19 Esports, but it's still really, really hard for them to get into this circle, especially now 19 Esports only one, and you know Acer, he's not going to be peeking out anymore. He's going to be waiting and finding his opportunity to maybe third party, pick off a kill here or there, but Acer safe for now. Coops and Chico, though, they've got the circle, and I mean, you know, at the beginning of the day, I was just like, maybe we'll see a 4-trigger from Knights, and I think this is that now become a very, very real reality. It might just happen actually tonight as Coops finding the shots onto Polo, and he's going to be waiting here right next to the blue zone to heal up a little bit.
I feel bad for Exet with the circle shifting away. If Knights couldn't have gotten more look and skill in this last game, the final moments of this game speaks for itself. Once again, I'm forced to think I'm the reason why they're doing so well. Knights Imperium in the Ghost server.
Give yourself a pat on the back.
Baby. Exactly. No, I joke. It's incredible talent, and clearly setting themselves up for an impressive PMPL performance if they can repeat that. Nice smoke walls from Exit between Polo and J7, because that allows a level of uncertainty in terms of exactly where they are in the smokes. It is benefiting them that Knights are obviously going to prioritize that little bit of a gutter strip, so it opens the window for Exit to move into the southern edge of the circle.
Yeah, like Acer using these kind of bushes here to kind of hide himself from the Knights, seeing as they pop up. He aims over onto Chico this time, but yeah, so this is the opportunity for Exet, but 19 Esports was killed and was found, and that is going to be it.
Jesus.
I definitely okay, Knights, they got Caster Bless with you know, obviously becoming a, you know, unofficial member of Knights, and then me at the very beginning, I was like, oh, maybe Knights. I mean, could they do it? Could they really do it? And they get 4 chicken dinners in one day, and Coop's getting 9 kills, and I think he has smashed the record now for the most amount of kills in one day, and I'm pretty sure he's at 29. I will have to check it, and the previous record was 20 from Spec one day.
It's pretty amazing. Credit to Chico, by the way, 7 kills.
Yeah.
I know low-key Coops overshadowed him, but Chico, much respect to you for those kills and for that performance with your teammate. It definitely wasn't, you know, as heavy of a one-man show as, at least in the moments, we made it out to be. Like, look, I've said this before and I'll continue to say it again. This kind of invitational is never going to be the absolute vision of what we'll see in PMPL. But the way Knights play, and I would argue Ghosts are the same, and maybe a couple of others.
Yeah.
The way Knights play, even when their IGL goes down early, is every single player, it looks like, is able to basically stand on their own 2 feet, whether it's as a team or individually, and that's such a massive strength. So many teams around there maybe rely on their IGL or suffer from their IGL going down early, etc. You put it in one way or another, whereas the better teams just benefit from the definition of an IGL, but when it's all said and done, don't really need the IGL. They handle that kind of moment, those situations in game where they're left with on their own or with just 2 players up, getting those results. It's amazing to see. It's an absolute pleasure. Like, I kind of obviously lost my shit a couple of times in that game, but that's just from, you know, from loving PUBG and seeing the talent that players possess and that talent shining through in this kind of stage and passing that. It's very easy for me to just be like, wow, mesmerized. So really insane stuff.
Yeah, we have, I think we call that an IGLing from the dead, right? They're dead, and then they're just kind of like barking out the orders and telling their players where to go. And yeah, you said just Knights is just able, just really solid day. I think they broke all the records for total amount of wins in a day. I think the record was like Ghost got 3 wins like 2 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago or something like that. So yeah, they broke the record. 4 wins in a day. Probably, let me look at the, so they probably had the most kills they definitely had the most kills in one day as a team. And then just phenomenal Coops getting the most kills as a player in any day so far actually in any of the days within the Invitational. We do have the overall scores done, if you guys would like to see them done already, to see the conclusion of this Invitational. And make sure you guys follow us on Instagram and Twitter. So I'm going to be posting. So what we're seeing here is not the final, like the graphics and everything. I'll go back and I'll post them on Twitter later. They're kind of the pretty, overall. And I got some cool statistics for you guys as well, like average points per map for each of the teams. I posted, I think before for a different event, but I want to post it again now. So you're able to see like, hey, Nova Esports on Erangel, they average X amount of points, but on Miramar, they average like this amount of points, something like that, and be able to kind of see the differences and dive a little bit deeper into the numbers, which is why I like these long leagues and having like 70, almost 80 matches of data and information to kind of draw that information out. So let's go ahead and see the overall scores. We have Ghost Gaming with first place with 921 points and 14 chicken dinners. Knights, 834 points in total with 9 chicken dinners. Xset did overcome Nova Esports, 362 points and 651 total points in 3 chicken dinners.
Yeah, so obviously, Knights dominated today, but Ghost, like I said, have proven why coming into PMPL they are the clear favorites and how they're able to turn
something into nothing when they're down to 1 or 2 players, when as a team they're able to control, dominate, and read the game in such a big way. And the amount of points they got over those games is pretty insane, plus the amount of chicken dinners. Yeah, it's pretty OP.
Yeah, it's just, man, interesting. So I know you guys mentioned that you wanted to see the overall fraggers as well, but I'm going to save that for when I post it on Twitter. So make sure you guys go ahead and check that when I do post it to see. I'm going to post the probably like the top 5, maybe top 10. I don't know. We'll see. The like top individual players. Like I make kind of little like cards with them with like the headshots and everything to kind of dive into, you know, really highlight them. And then I do post like overall, like every single player, how many kills they got in the event.
Yeah. Credit to all teams. On a side note, preparing for a PMPL event is not easy. So many of these players, they grind their ass off. They put in the work, they put in the time, and outside of my criticism, outside of my observations, I really hold a genuine high level of respect for every single one of these players. PMPL is going to be a different beast. It's why I always highlight the mentality perspective, the confidence level. The more confident teams, the more mentally prepared teams will put themselves in a higher chance of succeeding. It is 3+ weeks of action, so develop yourselves as a team. Don't worry about performing well on day 1. You'll have plenty of time to evolve, put in the relevant VOD review during the actual PMPL, and I'm gonna do my best to obviously tune in and watch the games and see all the teams play, and I seriously wish you all the best of luck. Honestly, I wish you all the best of luck. And at the end of the day, you're representing NA, and the end goal is as much as possible. Finish high, earn some money, hopefully make it to PMGC.
Yeah, so thank you to Imperium for casting with me on like half the days for this event, and then thank you to Red Eye. We had Red Eyes, we had Swins, we had the real Pickford as well. Come in and cast some of the days as well. So really big group effort. Thank you so much for casting. It's been a pleasure. Thank you to the teams for all playing. You know, obviously this wouldn't be an event without you guys. Hopefully this was, you know, good preparation for PMPL that starts next week. And then thank you to all the viewers for, you know, since day 1, we've done it all month long. Definitely our longest event that we've ever done. You know, for 19 days, you guys have watched this with us. So thank you again, guys again. And yeah, so we're gonna end it here. Have a great night, and we're going to go ahead and rate somebody. So stick around, and we'll see you guys next time.